the greatest team the world has ever seen. How are you, mate?
Waking up, but yeah, we're good. Good week. It's been a very good week actually. One of the best weeks. So, couldn't really ask for much more, I guess.
Mate, it's mad, isn't it? You think like last time we talked a little bit about Sunderland and hopefully get some players back. Next minute, like absolutely demolishing Spurs, playing against Bayern Munich, who are like definitely in Europe, and form-wise, like arguably as well. And I think second half, like I've never seen us run over Bayern Munich. Like, but I felt that second half was an absolute it was a murder case. It was horrendous. But we'll get all into that in a little bit. The question is, are we the best team in the world right now?
Well, I mean, currently in this specific day, yeah, we are. But does that mean
Okay, no, I'm taking that. That's done.
Does that
okay,
mean that
move
will
on.
last? On Monday, we might lose. We might lose to Chelsea on Sunday, and then we're back to square one.
Don't say that.
But right now, we definitely are. But it changes all the time.
Yeah, it's a weird one there. Like, I think rival fans at the moment are just like, even without like just jumping on anything, they hate the fact that we're just really good. Like, and it's undeniable. We are really, really good. And I think, like previously, especially with players and stuff, it's been like, oh, well, I don't know, Timber, oh, he's not as good as Reece James. And oh, David Raya's not as good as Allison. And oh, Saliba's good, but he's not as good as Van Dijk or whatever. It's always been a comparison, like just to put Arsenal down a peg. And right now, I think all they've got against us is, oh, well, we haven't won anything yet. We have got to win something this season because, I need to rub it in some people's faces. And two, because I genuinely feel like this team has got to win something now. I mean, they just are that good. Whether it's a Premier League, Champions League, like they have to win a major honour. So that's where I am with it. But we'll see. Should we get into the slides? You haven't even seen any of the slides yet, have you? Here we go, mate. Good old Fabio, he's there. The long time people will know why Fabio's there, but let's move on. We'll go through the world's best a little bit more, I think, and then we'll go into Salty Kimmich because I do want to talk about old Salty K. Oh, there we go. So currently we have a rating of 100. I mean, I don't actually know what that means right now. But Opta are telling us we are 100 out of 100. Bayern Munich now have gone down to 99.13. Putting them second. Like just looking at those teams, right? If we're saying, because I don't think it's also fair just to judge us in general. I think like match by match is really interesting to see how you think we match up with them all. Who would you say are a worst nightmare on there? If we're going Champions League final, who is the one team out of that kind of other 9 that you just don't want to see?
I low-key think that of all of them.
Hang on, you're gonna say this one?
No, they're
okay.
They're not even good at football. I have no idea how they're ninth. They are. I've watched the last 4 games of Aston Villa, and I'm like, how are they winning these games? They're awful.
Yeah,
awful. They should have lost to Leeds. I think low-key, if any team on their day, I mean, there's a few teams on the day that could definitely beat us there, like Real Madrid because of their attacking quality, probably Man City, and Liverpool, maybe. I actually think Chelsea, like, on a 90-minute basis, are actually a good team. Like, I've watched a lot of Chelsea games this year, and every time they play a good team, there is a certain level they do actually play a lot better. Albeit, I did watch their Burnley game, and it was the worst game I've ever watched. And I was like, if they play this against us, they're going to get thrashed. Like, they were just so bad. But I think it's a sort of, they're like better when the game's bigger sort of thing. I think they really, I think Maresca is as well. I think Maresca is a very tactical manager. And when he has to go against like low blocks, mid blocks like Burnley, I don't think he can really do much. I think he actually likes teams that are a bit more experimental against him.
Mhm.
And like he's done okay against us as well. Like we only beat him 1-0 and drew 1-1 last year. Like it was pretty tight games with him, even though we were very dominant at the Emirates. I feel like Chelsea are the bit like there. I look at it and go, oh, they're a weird one. Like Inter Milan are a weird team. Like they play weird football compared to everyone else here. But
Yeah.
Inter Milan in every big game this season have been awful. It's been a whole thing. Anytime there's a game of any importance, they just crumble. They're not good. And, I'm not worried about us playing them at the San Siro at all. I'm not worried because they just crumble all the time at the moment. And I just think out of all of these teams, who have I actually seen have that level in big games? It's probably Chelsea. Like Bayern beat PSG, but even then, like PSG against Spurs, they didn't even deserve to win. Spurs were actually very good against PSG.
That's just Spursy.
And well, and also it's a bit OP when you just got Vitinha shooting from like 30 yards out
Yeah,
every 3 seconds.
that's true.
So I just think none of these teams are that good. Like Barcelona, oh my god, how they play football is hilarious. They're like, yeah, we're just gonna have this really high line and hope they don't run in behind and time their runs well. And we're gonna do it the entire season, and every single time we get thrashed, it's the same reason. They lost 2-1 to Real Madrid, and everyone's like, oh, respectable score. You look at the stats, oh my god, Real Madrid like 30 shots. It should have been like 5-1. I
Mm.
looked at the Chelsea game, dominant. Sevilla, they lost 4-1 to. It's the same thing. They just have this high line. And we're maybe not the best team to like break that high line. So maybe they would be a little bit of a good counter for us. I know we are better now this year with direct play has been much better. I still
Yeah.
don't know if
Yeah.
we'd be the most consistent at doing that, but Barca are just not that for me. I just don't worry about them. So like I don't know, maybe it's because we play Chelsea, but I don't know. Like Chelsea, City, they're the two I probably worry, and Bayern. They're probably the three I worry about the most, realistically, there, out of
Yeah.
anyone else, I think.
No, I'm with you on that. I think this season has really started turning the screw on Barcelona because last year I looked at them and they were so free flowing, and that front three of Rafinha, Lewandowski, and Lamau, that that seemed to work well. But now it's like, okay, Rashford's coming in and we're making more changes. And it seems like they're getting found out now. Like against Chelsea, Chelsea could have got a lot more from that game. Well, hang on, the Liam Delap one was offside, wasn't it? But then they checked it for offside, but the semi-automated system said it wasn't. There was another offside
They scored
disallowed goal,
3
wasn't there?
offside goals and
Yeah.
also scored 3 legit goals. How
So
crazy
you
that
just
is.
go, I'm not worried about them, which is bizarre. Granted, though, they have got players that in a final could just turn up, but I think you could argue that for pretty much most of the teams there. So
Yeah,
yeah,
that's so funny, man. Because they weren't even good last year. I'm not even gonna lie. Like Barca played the same way last year. They just go all out attack and hope teams don't commit against them.
mm,
That's how they lost to Inter Milan in the semis. Which no one
yeah,
really talks about it, but there's no way that Barca team should be losing to that Inter Milan team. It just shouldn't be
sure.
happening. And like I don't know, the La Liga was just awful last year. It's pretty
Mhm.
bad now, but they won the league or whatever because Real Madrid were even worse than them. But I mean, they just don't defend. They have one way of
No,
playing, and it's like we're just gonna go all out attack, and if that doesn't work, we're screwed. And everyone in the Prem, I was saying this earlier to someone. I was like, I just feel like everyone in the Prem has such an advantage defensively. Like I look at defenders outside of the Premier League now, and I just go like, yeah, they're all right. Like some of them are really, really good. Like maybe like a Dean Huijsen who was in the Prem anyway, but I just don't like get they as a unit, as a complete unit. These teams don't have it like the Prems do, and it's not just Arsenal. Like I look at Chelsea, I think Chelsea centre backs are pretty bad, but then they've got James and Cucurella. I'm like, I just don't think any teams outside of England have a better fullback partnership than that. Like I
yeah,
don't.
that's true.
I don't think City have like Vardy out sitting on the bench. I mean, like he's a better defender than like most of these teams. Like like I know Liverpool have been bad this season. I think their players in defence are a mess, but we put that in context of the Prem. Like, I know Konate's not been good this year, but Konate and Van Dijk as a partnership is better than like a lot of these teams have.
Yeah.
Like even Real Madrid, that like Eder Militao and Huijsen or whatever. Like I just don't. Yeah, it's all right, but like I'm not really like thinking it's that good, and I just think it's so funny because it just seems like every team outside of England has focused so much on attack. And obviously, there's an extent like City, Liverpool, and all that. Obviously, Liverpool spent so much money on attackers. But I do think there's a certain. Well, Liverpool are probably the only team in England that haven't really tried to buy any defenders in a while. And then look what's happening to them. So I think that kind of just shows where England and the country's at in terms of football right now. And I
Mhm.
think a lot of it is kind of Arteta coded. Like we know he loves his defenders, and I think it's
Right, yeah, 100%. I also think, like, even outside of quality, where we've got young defenders in the Premier League, they're like young, experienced defenders. Like, yeah, a lot of the others aren't, they haven't played internationally at the same level. They haven't gone the kind of distance in the Champions League at the same level. I just look at them and think it's not the same. It really isn't. The other thing is that, like, defense away, I think the Bayern Munich game really showed that second half, the ability to press and the physicality of the Premier League. I think that was a really good display of, like, first half, okay, we're gonna keep it tight, we're gonna be quite pragmatic. And then almost in the second half, it was like a switch went and they said, "Oh, actually, run over him." Like like Declan Rice, a prime example. Like, I mean, to be fair, one of the best games I've seen him play, well, halves anyway. And they just couldn't cope with it. And I think a lot of those teams, like the kind of teams in Europe, just don't think they know how to deal with that, how they can deal with the press, how they can deal with like the ball carrying in midfield and things. It was just, yeah, it was really interesting. Like, it was just crazy to think that Barcelona now, not too worried. I think they're definitely, get atable, if that's a word. And Real Madrid, like 2 legs last year, we just demolished them. So I'm not worried about them either. Bayern Munich, we've just beaten and like quite comprehensively. Could have had some more goals. Marino missed a couple. Eze, I don't know if he made the right choice with that kind of squared ball, amongst others. And then Paris Saint-Germain, current champions, they did beat us over 2 legs last year. But again, we did beat them at the beginning of the competition. And we are definitely a better team than we were last season. I think the biggest difference last year was the midfield for me. Whereas you look at the midfielders of Bemendi and the rotations coming in, the fact now we've got Eze playing as a 10 and you can have him in or Odegaard, and there's just so many more options now. I think, and yeah, I mean, again, like you said, against Tottenham, it's not like they blew Tottenham out of the water, and that what we just did to them. There's some football maths for you, but yeah, I'm like really happy with our chances. I just hope that we keep some form. We have like form in the right moments because there's nothing worse. I think, is it like over the last 2 years we've got more points than anyone else in the Premier League,
yeah.
but again, no trophies to show for it. So it's all about getting those runs of games and getting that form in the right moments. And if we can kind of get towards that point in the semi-finals and the finals and then turn up, I think we can beat anyone, 100%. And I'd argue this as well. I don't know if you think this. We are the best kind of two-way team. So I know we're always glorified for for our defense, but the midfield is fantastic. We're starting to show up top now what we can do, and we haven't even seen the best of us this season. Whereas a lot of those other teams are one-dimensional to a certain extent.
Yeah. Yeah. I mean, I think we were last year as well, to be honest.
Mm.
I don't think that, like, I think we had a lot of injuries in the Prem, but I think we did show our class in the Champions League. I just think we lost to PSG because PSG, I mean, broadly in the first leg, we kind of threw it away a little bit. And then I just like, I still think we were a good enough team to win the Champions League last year. Like, I don't want to make like one result make me think otherwise.
Yeah.
Um, so yeah, it's one of them things. Like, it's interesting because I said at the start of the season that, like, hypothetically and how it works, Arsenal should get better as the season goes on because of the depth that we have, and we have the best depth in Europe, which is always
Yep.
going to be our benefit. And like, yes, we've had injuries this season, but we've still been able to manage them and be very, very good. And even now, like, some of these teams have injury problems, or not even injury problems, but it's more like selection issues sometimes. Like, who is
Mm.
is is this player in form? Is this player what the right tactical setup for this game? And we just have so much versatility all the time. Like, Trossard's come off injured, and we've got 3 players that can play in left wing now. Like, Trossard's been fantastic, but it's not even like really a worry for people because it's like, well, we've got all these players to come back. Like, there's so many different ways that we can play, and like I think it's a big credit to Arteta that he finds ways to make the team work with the
Mhm.
players he has. Like, we have been very, very like overly aggressive, not overly, but I'd say we've been more aggressive this season. We've been in the press. We've been more willing to do things. But there's been times where he's had to give that up for when Odegaard's not in the team, or for when like Mendy's not in the team as well in certain games. And I think like Eze's had to play in right centre mid, attacking midfield, whatever what you want to call it, which I don't even think was his probably idea when Eze came in. It was probably left wing, but
Mhm.
he's found a way to make Eze work in that position. And like we'll speak about it in a bit, but like before when we had the podcast last week, I said there was a few things I wanted to see from Eze in improvement, and I think this week we've seen all of it and more. I think Eze's been fantastic in the last 2 games. Not just his goal contributions. I think he's been genuinely amazing. So, like stuff like that, I look at and I'm like, we're just finding solutions for problems that haven't even become problems yet. And I think that's such a testament. But yes, it's so true
So
that
true.
we need to peak at the right time. But I trust the group of players and at least like the players coming in that we can give to that level. So I mean, it's confidence at the moment. It's great.
Yeah, man. Grumpy Doctor, welcome, mate. When Mikhail said he wants us to be kings of everything, he meant it. And it's so true. Like, I loved the comment. I mean, we'll get into Tottenham in a second, but after that game, and when he kind of said it was in a joking way about the set pieces, but there was an element of truth. When someone says something and it was like, no, I want a set piece goal because I want us to be able to dominate everyone on everything. I don't care. And when I watch our team, when we score a goal, everyone celebrates the goal. When we make like a really good tackle, everyone celebrates that. Or when Ryan makes a really good save, everyone it there's not like a certain element of the game where they kind of put that on a higher pedestal now. I think every single like facet of the game we want to be the best at. And it's so interesting now, like whether we play in a lower block, whether we go high press, whether we like have like a rest pause in it, like it doesn't really matter. We seem to make the right judgment calls now and be damn good at it, which is mad. Um 610 Vegas, I mean, it's true. Keeping Rice and Zuber fit all season is the key. Like, I dread to think if we lost one of them because they just knit everything so well together. And I don't think it's any coincidence that Rice is like in this much better form. And his like position now is much more like all action again, rather than trying to do like one specific job. And that's definitely to do with Zubimendi coming in. Are you disappointed that, we've got Zubimendi and not the old bloke that we used to
Oh my god! Like the amount of
have?
stupid stuff I see on Twitter, man. Like every single game that Zumendi plays, I've even seen it now in the last day or two, where people are like Zumendi's not physical enough. Zumendi's done. And it's like he's literally like the most risk-taken player ever. He's going to lose the ball. It's just going to
Yep.
happen. But like the amount of benefits he's given the team completely outweigh the negatives. He's been transformative in there for so many players. Like
100%.
so good. I mean, we are basically playing like. I mean, somewhat 3/8. I think if Odegaard comes back in,
Mhm.
Eze's been kind of deeper to be fair, especially against Bayern. He played a lot deeper, but I wouldn't really say he's an 8 still. I'd say he's still a more like 10 player. But we're
Yeah.
definitely playing Zuber and Rice as like a double pivot as an 8. They're not like I know like Rice said about Zuber being a 6 in his interview, and he is a 6, but I don't know. When I watch him play, I'm like, I don't think Sixers just run into the box every couple of minutes and making these like runs as a striker and they're going down the left wing. I'm like, I don't know if that's what Sixers do, unless that is just modern football nowadays, and that is what your average six does. I don't know. Maybe that is, but
I don't know about average 6.
I was like, I don't know. Like, I feel like they're both eights now. We are kind of doing the whole PSG midfield thing a little bit, which people have spoken about. So I don't know. I just think that the dynamics in midfield have been so important for this season. I think they are really like I said this. If Rice and Zuber are playing, I'm confident in any game they play. They're that good. I think that is our biggest worry in terms of injuries is that midfield. So I would assume, or I said this last week as well, that I would expect Arsenal to probably buy someone to play in midfield in January. I think if we're going to buy anyone, it'll probably be a midfielder. There's obviously been links to Mendoza, who's a central midfielder.
Yeah.
So I mean, I wouldn't be surprised by that by any means, and I think that could be something that makes sense because I mean, maybe it's not a player that you want to like play and it's going to be great right now, but you're just having some suitable backups to there because I don't know what they're doing with Miles. I have no idea at this point. I don't know. So.
Yeah. Quick question from 610. What do you think of switching Saka to the left and Nani to the right if they were the ones playing? Saka struggled sometimes against Cucurella. We will get into that Chelsea game in a little bit, and you kind of read my mind slightly on that. I know you, Reece, have said previously that you think Cucurella is the best left back in the league, and he's definitely up there. I think against us, he's definitely the best left back in the league. He always has a good game, regardless of like the outcome of the match and scorers or assists. Like his performances themselves are fantastic. So we'll get onto that in a bit. Before we do though, let's talk about Salty Kimmich. Simply because I just found it funny. Bayern Munich have put so much out before this match. They're like so confident, like, oh, let's look back at all the results against Arsenal previously. Oh, let's have that. And I understand that you kind of have to do it from a media point of view. But going into it, I just don't like buying it anyway. I don't like the club and the fact that they just cherry pick the best players from all the teams. Like it's always been that way. Not even like they've ever had another team that can financially compete with them, or like even like Dortmund at the best, they're still taking all their players, bar Marco Reus. But yeah, like I just don't like them for that. I don't like them for the drubbins they've given us. Just yeah, I'm not a massive fan of them. And then for Kimmich to come out after the game and say Arsenal's completely different. They rely on set pieces. I don't know if a couple of the goals yesterday said that. They love to play long balls. They love to fight for second balls. True. It was a completely different game against PSG. It was more of a football game. And over here on the left, I'll just make everyone aware. Have a little look at the long balls there, because we played 47, and Kimmich, your team played 67 long balls there. So
I mean, their goal is literally from a long ball, like
yeah.
Like the thing is, it's like even then, like I don't even get why that's a bad thing. Kimmich did an incredible crossfield pass. And I'm like, I don't think anyone's sitting there going, "Wow, that's ruined the game." That is, it's like an incredible goal. Like fair enough.
Only make a 5-yard pass. We just want a Foden pass. That's all we want.
It's so because this is one of them indications where. Like, I think people sometimes do give footballers too much credit. I think when you listen to viewers of current footballers, I mean, all old footballers, oh my God, don't listen to them. But like current footballers, I hear a lot of the time, like some of them are very intelligent, but also a lot of them are like, I don't blame them. Like at the end of the day, if you're playing in whatever country and doing your whatever thing, you're not going to be looking at the news every day. A lot of them aren't going to be on Insta scrolling and seeing what the football news is all the time. Like, yeah, you're going to get some are like probably Rice, but some aren't. So I'm sure that the people just don't know. And then they play Arsenal. They get told about Arsenal the week before and how we are. And then I don't know. I guess that's the thing. Our set pieces against Bayern were unbelievable. We should have scored like 4 goals from them. I couldn't believe we'd scored more. Like it was so dominant. So I can understand the frustration from their point of view from that bit. But I was like, I just hate this whole thing about like, who cares how we play football? We're the best team in Europe. We can play how we want. The fundamental is that Arteta's done a lot of things that people copy. People copy
Yep.
the way that we are big on set pieces. Look at every team in the Premier League right now. They play in Europe and set pieces are dominant. I was watching Crystal Palace versus Strasbourg, and I was like, Strasbourg are probably thinking, what is going on with these corners? I was like, it's just this sort of thing that like it's just what happens with everyone right now. Like, I just think it's stupid, and like, who cares? We can play whatever way we want. Yeah, you're right
Yeah.
as well. What you said, they got Jonathan Tah on a free last year. Jonathan Tah was an invincible at one of their biggest rivals. Jonathan Tah sucks. I think he's awful. I've never thought he's good, but like the thing is that's not the point. Like they just can do what they want. Oh yeah, that's fine. That's not ruining the game at all. You're not ruining German football being a dominant team and being able to buy who you want. But a team that wants to play long balls and does it successfully and is good, oh, that's a bad thing. And then obviously it's not even true. That's the funny thing about this whole thing. Like they
Yeah,
played more
it's
than
so
us.
ironic,
We
isn't it?
defended better than them. We worked harder than them. And we in the second half we played them off the park. So they were lucky to
Yeah.
even be in the game. So I like it's just one of those things where like it's just so stupid. Like they are Kimmich was just salty after the game. It's funny because Harry Kane after the game said that like we scored they're good at set pieces and stuff, but he said it in such a respectful way. And I was like, that's Harry Kane for you. Like this guy's Tottenham legend or whatever. And he comes out of the game and he's like, yeah, fair enough, whatever. And Kimmich is all angry. So I was like, what's this guy saying? You remember we all wanted to sign Kimmich last year? Yeah, well,
Yeah.
good luck, mate.
To be
Stay over
fair, when
there.
he hit that pass over the top of Miles, I went, yeah, he wouldn't have been a bad backup. Like,
Some of his passes were incredible. He did one in the
mm,
second half as well when Nabry almost scores. And I was like, their
yeah,
only attacking element is even Carl runs past Miles Skelly or he just hits like a 50-yard bar. It's the only two things they could actually create from. And I was just like, it's so hilarious.
yeah, it's mad, isn't it? I mean, and I'm with Grumpy on this. I take salty Kimmich rather than condescending praise after we lost any day. And it's so true. Oh, I hated the little broing that we had from Pep so often. Like almost like the pat on the head, like, oh yeah, you're really good. You keep it up. One day you'll be as good as us. Like that kind of oh to wind me up. And to be fair, I'd take Salty Kimmich over hearing their commentators after they've scored a fifth goal against us. Like I can't do that
It's
anymore.
funny because I remember vividly when we lost 5-1 at home in the
Yeah.
second leg. And I remember we didn't even play bad. And I was so angry. I remember the first half, we were so dominant. Neuer did like some incredible saves. And then we just couldn't score. And then we just got thrashed. And so, like, when Neuer made that mistake against us, I was like, yeah,
Oh, it's
that's what you
oh, it's
get.
lovely,
For all
wasn't
them times that you literally did some insane saves. I was like, this is what happens when you're nearly 40 and you're running out of goal. Stay on your line, buddy. You're not a sweeper keeper anymore.
it?
Get back there. I did think it was crazy that a 38-year-old, 39-year-old goalkeeper decides. Like I always say, keepers should come out. Like I'm a big believer of that. And like when we scored the third, straight after it, he comes out and does well. But there's got to be a limit, man. It's
You
nearly at the
can't just run
halfway
out every
line. What's
time.
he doing? I was like, there's got to be like you've got. I would say like a third of the pitch, and I'd be like, okay, you should come out that far. No, but you should be coming out that far. It's like,
Yeah.
what is this guy doing? I was so it made me laugh so much.
I was on the instant reaction for the Canon podcast, and number one, I really didn't want to do it because every time it's George and I, we lose. So originally I was like, I'm not doing it, and MJ had to convince me. It's more or less like bribe me to get on. So I was already getting into the match thinking, oh god, and then we got the PTSD of the other games. We go and win, and then one of the first comments I read is that bloke is is that bloke playing in goal for Bayern Munich? And it's essentially because I've got my moustache. They were saying I look like Neuer. Like, oh, thanks very much. Like I'm probably exactly the same age as him. How old is Neuer now? Is he
Yeah, he's like
40?
38, 39, I think. So he might be just a bit older.
I know he's slightly older than me. All right, I'll take that. Yeah, I've still got more legs than me than him. But no, it was mad, wasn't it? And to be fair, I've never seen him so out of sorts as well, like from corners. That Timber one, like he is flapping. It's mad to see him just kind of like, what do I do? I've got to try and do something and get near it. The ball is perfect. And then, yet again, Yuri and Timber. What is he like? 5'10", 5'9" or something? He might be
Yeah, he's like
5'3".
5'10", 5'11", I think.
And then again, never had a
Something like
goal
that.
from a corner. Like,
Yeah, and we spoke last week. I
mm,
literally said to you, we were talking about corners, and I was like, Timber is incredible in the air. When
yep,
Gabriel was injured last time, Timber scored from corners. I was like, he's just gonna do it again. It did not surprise. I mean, Marino is the disappointment. How he did not score in that second half, I couldn't believe it. I was like, the one thing you're good at is supposed to be heading the ball. And oh my god, he had some gilt edge opportunities in that. Man, it was so annoying.
yeah, man, yeah. Like, do you think? I think it was the first. Like the first one, I was like, yeah, I don't know about that. And then the second one, oh my god,
Yeah, I know what
it
you're talking
should
about. Yeah,
be.
100%.
Let's go into the Eze one as well, because I don't know. He did all the hard work, and for me, I know, like, really, people say you go far post, then you bend it in. I think he should have just gone reverse near post and just lashed it,
Yeah,
because I think with Eze as well, he's not the type of player to get in those positions. He likes to shoot from outside the box. We've talked about it. That's his best kind of range. And I just felt like just hit it near post as hard as you can. But and then he kind of, I don't know. To me, I thought he tried to square it and
I
it just
think he
went
does.
wrong.
I think he
Like,
tries to square it.
yeah, I'm glad you said that because George was like, oh, I think he was trying to do like an Henri type thing and it went wrong. And I don't know, from the body angle to me as well, like opens him up so much that he's almost like sideways at the time rather than, like when you open up and kind of lean for that
Yeah.
far post. But yeah, that would have been would that have been of 2-0 at that point?
Yeah, and then we conceded like a
Mm,
minute after that.
yeah. And I
Yeah.
thought,
It's like he did all the hard work. So it's one of them things where like obviously we won the game, so people aren't really gonna care.
yeah.
Like and it's like with the Marino ones where he's just like the headers are so frustrating. I get the headers or whatever, it kind of bounces and it's like, even though he should score, it's like an easy chance as like maybe an Eze.
Mhm.
But I get the same frustration. Like Eze I mean, he proved it on the weekend before that he can shoot on both feet. Like he could have just shot on his left. I get why he'd want to shoot on his right in that situation, but when I watched it back, like his control on his right foot kind of messed up a little bit, and it kind of put him back a bit. So
Yeah.
at that point, I would have liked to see him maybe switch, but it still would have been hard to do that to his left foot in that quick time. But yeah, it's one of them moments where like we just got to score that really at the end of the day. Like at least got to get a shot on target. I think he tries to square it just because like what you said, like he's just so sideways on. Like even if he
Yeah.
is trying to curl that into that corner, which is not particularly a finish in that situation, I can imagine as they doing anyway. Really, like I don't know. It's not like him opening his body up and it rolling across him like it was against
Yeah.
Tottenham. This is much more like, yeah, like that Henri finish. And I just don't really see him being that sort of player. And also, it just didn't look very comfortable. So maybe he did try, and maybe he's just like not used to that
You're
technique as much.
fancy.
But we know that, like, to be fair, the one thing about Eze is that even if his touch is like messed up, or he's like the ball's bouncing, which happens quite a lot with him, he will still just get a shot away. Like he
Yeah.
does not care about it being a perfect situation. He will get the imperfect shot away. And so maybe it was, but yeah, I was a bit frustrated at that as well. But like obviously, I think Eze overall was just like I think he did play really, really well in both games. Just generally, like his overall
Yeah.
play has been so much better. Like I did say last week that I wanted a bit more from him. I said for one that when we get him into these striker positions, I wanted to score. And he did against
Yeah.
Tottenham, but I'm hoping he didn't use all his juju against Tottenham, and he still has it a bit. But against Bayern, he only had one shot, which is like I think the least amount he's probably had all season in
Yeah, I
a
was gonna
game.
say, it's got to be up there, isn't it? Like,
And we didn't even
he's
know if
usually
it's a shot.
averaging, like, pardon?
We didn't even know if it's a shot. We're like, oh, it might be a
Yeah,
foul.
yeah, that's true. Like, another player that didn't really have any shots, Harry Kane, I thought we dealt with him so well. So well, like, in terms of, he does that thing where he backs in, tries to win a foul, and by the end of the game, it made me laugh because a lot of the time players are coming in, touch tight, then they're moving away as he kind of flops. He kind of flopped down to the floor, nowhere near a player. It just was hilarious that, and I understand, like, it does work to a certain extent, but he's trying it in his own half at 3-1 down. I'm like, just win the ball and hold it up. Like, you're good enough to do that. Like, as much as I don't like the guy from playing for Spurs and stuff, like, he's definitely good enough to hold the ball up. And he was just trying to buy him fouls and things. I just thought it was really funny. No shots. The best thing he did was moving into the midfield when Kimmich hit that long ball. Like, he was pretty much anonymous. I've never known him to do that. Like, it was really good. What were your thoughts in terms of, like, for the defense? I'll get onto Miles in a minute, but the choice of Mosquera, is that what you would have done? Because we both said Hincapié, didn't we, for the Tottenham game? Would you have kept it the same, or would you have put Mosquera in?
No, it's exactly what I would have done. Like I said, going into the Tottenham game, it's different players for different situations, sort of thing. Like, we knew Tottenham was going to be a game where they. Wow, it was so funny because when we actually like deep like think about Tottenham's game plan, their game plan was to score from set pieces, and they got like one long throw in, and that was it. And I was like, wow. So your logic was to score from set pieces, but you didn't actually have any way of getting set pieces.
Yeah.
So,
you might want to get near our goal first.
Great system, guys. But in a game like that, a derby like that, I knew it was going to be like overly aggressive. Like, we spoke about how Tottenham play generally, and the players that they have, like, Richarlison's a weird player, man, because he isn't actually as bad as, like, I think some people think he is. Like, especially in the air, he's a good player. The goal he scored against us is a worldie. Like,
Yeah,
whatever.
he has his moments, doesn't he?
Yeah, he's
like,
a proper
I bet his
moments
highlights
player.
must be mad. He's like, almost like Giroud to a certain extent. Like,
I see what you mean, yeah.
I can imagine him later on, towards the end of his career, like, you know, latter stages, people going, oh yeah, have you seen him? Like, he's actually really good, and kind of like overrating him again.
He could be like a streets that, like, don't forget player sort
Yeah.
of thing. Because he reminds me a bit like a Skamaka. Like, Skamaka doesn't know what an easy goal is if anyone watches him. Like, I was watching him play for Atlanta the other day, and he missed like a sitter from 4 yards, and someone else scored. And I was like, yeah, it doesn't surprise me, because when you look at his goal catalogue, it's like 50-yard screamers, bicycle kicks. The guy does not know how to score easy goals. It's just not, it does not exist. And I kind of think the same with Richarlison. And it's even a header or a screamer. There's no other in between of his goals. And like, the thing is with Richarlison, like it wasn't his fault. Like with against us, like, their team just didn't make any sense. But like, he just spent the whole second half just running into us. And I was like, he is like, someone needs to like tell this guy's got a screw loose, and he's always had a screw loose, but it makes all the good work he does completely overshadowed, because he actually was okay, I thought. Like, he scored a great goal, whatever, but he just runs into us over and over again. There were so many opportunities where we've got the ball, they're like 3-1 down, they need to get the ball back, he just runs into us. And I'm like, that is when you're exerting too, there's a whole thing about sports psychology and stuff, when you like care too much about a game and then you go over the level. He just seems to do that like off the bat every game. Like, I get the fact it was a derby and it was Arsenal and you're losing, but it's not just Arsenal. He does this every week where he just runs into people, and like, that's his whole play style. And I'm like, what are we doing here? So I knew that the Tottenham game was going to be overly physical. All they did, like Polina, like, this guy off the ball is a good player, but he's off the ball in terms of he just takes you out, and he's a good player at tackling. On the ball, oh my God, he has absolutely nothing going for him. None of the Tottenham midfield did, which I expected. And like, they were just kicking us the whole time, and it just made me laugh so much. And that first 35 minutes when we were trying to break them down, it was like rough. But with Hincapié, like, it made sense, like, Hincapié playing in that game for the aerials as well, like the aerial ability. I mentioned before the game that his aerial ability is really good, and I'm glad that he proved me right. He was fantastic in the air. That header that we get from the fourth goal, like, where he wins it back from the goal kick, and then that whole goal is so perfect. The press is great. We bait them into taking it long. Then he just wins the dominant header against Richarlison. We flick it on. We score on the counter. It's actually probably what I think, like, Arteta would be like, that's one of the perfect goals I want to score. I love that sort of goal. And like, I thought the thing is, I did see some people talk about Hincapié. Like, I did a video about Hincapié after the game. And I did see a lot of like media people saying, like, Hincapié was really good at the things he did well, like aerial duels, physicality, but he actually had no defending to do because Tottenham did not attack. And I was like, yeah, it's actually so true. Like, we just never saw him defend because he never had to. And I was
that's
like,
so true, actually. I haven't even thought about that. Like,
so,
yeah.
And I was like, I kind of felt like that. And then with Mascara coming in, I wouldn't have minded Nketiah coming in, but Arteta did say that Nketiah, like we said in the podcast, and we got a comment last week saying like obviously he just come back from Ecuador, he was tired, so like they
Mhm.
didn't want to over rush him and put him in. And you've got Mascara, then we know Mascara's great, and I
Yeah.
want to say Mascara in this game against Bayern, he's like. You just feel really confident. I sometimes feel like Mascara with Arsenal. He's confident on the ball, but sometimes you see a little bit like of, I don't know if it's like experience or probably team knowledge, but he sometimes gets a little bit all confused. Where do I pass? Like, what do I do? And then loses it a
Mm.
little bit. But I never saw any of that, dude. He was so assertive in this game. Him and Saliba were excellent. They had to be as well. Bayern Munich's rotations, like you mentioned with Harry Kane, I was literally just looking at Harry Kane's heat map because I was like, oh, I bet it's hilarious. It's absolutely hilarious. There was literally
See if
like
I can bring it
4
up now.
touches in the box, and then everything else is like essential midfield. And just like, well, he's basically a midfielder at this point. And like I kind of felt like in this game that obviously Mascara and Saliba both had to stay on their man and track their men, especially when Kane would pin one of them, they'd have to go with him. And a lot of the time, Mascara is super aggressive. He's in the midfield, like tracking Kane with him, proper good tackler. And I thought Mascara was excellent. I do want to give, because I don't really think we speak about Saliba often. I think Saliba in our team is kind of the forgotten man in many ways. He's just there. We know what we expect from Saliba. We know he's not been as good as Gabriel in some ways, but he's still an incredible player. I think Saliba in the last 2 games has really stepped up. He's been fantastic against a different partner both times. And I mean, the fact that we could just play Nketiah in one game, he's amazing. Then Mascara in another game, and he's amazing
Oh, it's
against Bayern.
mad, isn't it?
It's just such a joy. Like, and that's the sort of thing that I think we shouldn't take for granted because not many teams can do that. Like, there's not many teams that could just bring in another centre back like that every week and just be like up to that
Yeah.
level. So, absolutely fantastic. Like, I think the entire defense, like, obviously, Lewis Skelly's the big one in the Bayern game. He did struggle. Like, he was our real weak point. Like, nearly every chance they created was through him. I also want to give credit to Leonard Carl. I thought Leonard Carl was excellent. The
Yeah, he
17-year-old
really was.
crazy good. So I do think that it was tough, and also Elise as well was like for Lewis Skelly. It was tough for him. I felt like, and I think the goal is his fault, but it's gonna happen. Like he just hasn't played that much. He's
Mm.
not a player that's gonna be used to big times out of the team. He came in last year, played every game nearly, and then this is his first real time out of the team, not in the first team. So I don't know. It happens at the end of the day with him, but everyone else was brilliant. Like Timber, Ben. We could even rest Timber at one point, bring Ben White on. Like some of the it was so
Finally.
funny. We were drawing what people forget, but we were drawing 1-1, and we took Saka off in this game because he was
Yeah.
tired. It's crazy. We could just do
Like,
that.
that is ballsy, I think I said on the instant reaction. Like, do that. I mean, that speaks volumes. I think it was the right move to do as well. Because like Saka was playing more of a physical game. Like at times, especially in the first half, it would come to him and he was just having to play it back. Like he wasn't really given much to kind of turn and run on. They didn't have many runners on beyond him at the time. Second half came and he was having much more joy. And I think it just got to the point where it's like, okay, now let's go more direct. And I think Noni was excellent. Like he was so good because just asking different questions, I think he's like the perfect player for that. Like, and yeah, again, Martinelli, like we've said it before, him in the Champions League is just, you get certain players. Okay, right. You get certain iterations of players. So I think of like Osman with his face mask on. I think of, well, essentially Martinelli Champions League. There's certain players that, like he just worked. And again, same ball, it seems, not identical, but similar ball to the Man City one from Eze over the top. And he did really well to finish it. As he rounded him, and I went, oh God, please don't miss it. Like shank it or something. It was, I don't know if that was just me, but I just had this horrible feeling of like, I don't know, trip as you go to play it, or I don't know. Yeah, I think Martinelli is on 4 Champions League goals now as well. So, I mean, the decisions were right, and the Calafiori one again. I think previously it would have been so easy to just go, we've seen it in the past, like keep a player on. Don't want to take him off. And Miles needed to be taken off. Like that was, I think, probably the worst performance I've ever seen him have. Definitely since he's kind of become an established member of the team anyway. And I just, yeah, Calafiori shut that left hand side down. Straight away gets the ball on the overlap. Beautiful ball in. Nani finishes it. Great decision, great change. And all in all, that match was just fantastic. It was like a pleasure to watch that match, especially considering the first half was like neither team was bad. Like it's not like Bayern Munich were really good in that first half and Arsenal were poor, vice versa in the second half. We just played really good football, both teams, and it was a really good show of here's two of the best formed teams in world football right now. And then the second half, I just think just
And
ran
and
them over.
and I think we ran him over because of like I don't even think it's down to like a like technical level or like anything like that. I genuinely just think it's a fitness level. Like
Yeah.
I think our team is the fittest in the world right now. They've been like drilled to run so much. Like I do think there's a certain point where I mean, Arsenal. I also think in this game there was a like with our press, we pressed them really intently when they were like deeper. But as soon as they built up towards around the halfway line, we kind of sat off, and I think that
Mhm.
makes sense because you don't want to keep going for it, especially with their passes that they can do. But I also think there's a certain aspect of Arsenal not wanting to press all the time because it will just get more injuries. And I do think Arsenal, with the fact that like no one really talks about it, but we do have every single player comes back deep when other teams are on the counter, which other teams don't have. But I think that does
Yep.
like it's just a lot of work that these guys have got to do. They're going to have to be like that. But I also think like fitness levels is a big reason for that. The substitutes, like I keep saying this, like I'm watching Bayern Munich and they're bringing on like Biscoff and like what, like he's an okay player, like he's fine, but like it doesn't really change anything in that game. And he's bringing they have to bring him on for fitness, and we're bringing on Martinelli, Madueke, Calafiori, and they're just our bench players at this point. Like
They're bringing on a biscuit.
a biscuit, yeah. It's I look at that and I just go like, this is why I just think Arsenal have a big advantage in all these things because even if we're not even playing well, when we get to that 60, 70-minute clock in any game, we just have an advantage. We just do.
Yep.
Like there's going to be teams like Chelsea on the weekend, a great example, where they have some good players off the bench that could definitely like threaten us to an extent. Like maybe Liam Delap be on the bench, he can come on. And I think they're actually one of the teams that have like a close, like they actually have okay, like players on the bench are like, okay, they're not bad, they can do something. But barring them and maybe like a City and Liverpool have a couple of players, I guess. There's not really a lot like these teams don't have that. And with injuries piling up as the season goes on, you would
Mhm.
hope that unless Arsenal get like 1,500 injuries, even with 5 injuries, Arsenal had the best depth. Like if we have to, we could just bring on a Max Dowman. We can, we might even sign another midfielder in the sub. We haven't even seen people like Norgay. Remember him? He is here. So
Yeah.
it's like all these options that we have is insane. And like a special shout out to go like Calafiori. It's just like I know that like in Italy they love Calafiori because obviously Italians. I know that they're not particularly happy with their national team. It's not been going very well. There's a lot of
Mm.
issues. There's a lot of social issues with their whole like how their country's been built up and how their players work. And there's a lot of footballing reasons like that have kind of made them not be very good. So I know as well, as soon as they see someone like Calafiori not in Italy, that's a big thing for them. Every big Italian stay in Italy. It's a whole thing. And I
Yeah.
know a lot of them. Like I don't know if you saw Capello's comments about him, and I was like, it's so funny because I've spoke to people that are like that are Italian, and they've said to me like, oh, like instantly, like you support Arsenal, how like oh, I love Calafiori, like. He's just such a like it's such a big thing, and he's been so good this season. Like I
Yeah,
I
man.
also think there's a certain level. It's like I genuinely think Arsenal are getting to the point, and this may be a bit like hyperbole, but I just kind of think when I watch a player come to Arsenal, they just look so much better, and I just think everything is working so much right now. Like I keep saying this, and Mascara is such a good litmus test for this, but
I'm
Mascara had
sorry.
it's
That comment. Did you see that?
yeah.
Because I just read this and then I genuinely thought 610 said with a cup of tea. So I just I just put that up because in my head I went, would you have it with a coffee or a tea? Because I would have it with coffee. And then I realized it didn't say tea. And that's sorry, that's just absolutely got me. Thanks, 610. That's perfect. Anyway, mate.
Yeah, I just think I did that. I think that I think mascara is the best litmus test for looking at how players improve in such a short time with the players
Yeah.
around them. Like he had considerable weaknesses. Like I still don't particularly think he's amazing in the air, but there's definitely been an improvement since he's come in. He is
Oh, 100%.
so much more composed than he was at Valencia, and it's probably because he can be now. He doesn't have to be as aggressive all the time, but
Yeah.
it's just like every player that, especially defenders that we sign, they look good at other clubs, and then we sign them, and they just look different. And I think in terms of like we look at players that Arsenal don't get a lot of the time, and people go like, "Well, this guy would have been great." But unless they feel like they can't mold him into the player they want or in this way that works within the squad, sometimes
Hmm.
spending a lot of money isn't worth it. Like like with Gyökeres is a big example. I spoke about before how he wasn't very good off the ball. I think off the ball, relatively, he's been really good for Arsenal. And like on the ball, I don't think we can particularly change that as much as you would think. Like I think he is kind of the player he is, and I'm not really surprised by what I've seen in that regard. But like off the ball, the improvements are there. Eze off the ball, like his improvements over the last 2 games have been there. He's running
Yeah.
back as the last defender, winning the ball back and keeping possession. Like he is rotating the ball, coming deeper. Like Marino's another great example. Like I don't know. It just seems like Arsenal, and I think it's great to have a core squad, which I think is a big reason for this, and a great manager and a great team. But every player just comes to Arsenal, and they just do get better. We are, one of the big reasons why Arsenal don't make mistakes in the transfer window is because every player just like becomes so much better when they're at our club, and I think that's a big reason for it.
Mate, it's so true. Do you know what? That brings me in nicely. I'm just trying to get a couple of players. I think we should just quickly make a little tier list. This is not planned. A little tier list for who has improved the most since coming in. Or should we do it since the start of this season, or do you reckon?
I mean, it's just a small sample size, isn't it? Really, like
Hmm.
it's hard to really compare fully with people like Mascara, for instance, who was
Yeah.
at Valencia. So
Let's
I
see
mean,
if
we could
this
do it since they
works.
go in. I mean, I think I don't know. Like it's hard as well. I guess we won't count like Saka and stuff because I feel like that's just a bit stupid. Oh yeah,
Do we not?
he was 11. Oh yeah, he's much better than he was when he was
All
11.
right. Yeah. He was
It
11.
doesn't really work. I actually think the person that's improved the most is someone that people probably won't agree with, but
Oh.
I think it's night and day, and I think I don't know. I think it's quite funny, but
Oh,
I
that's
don't know.
going to be interesting.
The team is just so I don't know. It's just so good right now. Like we have actually not kept a clean sheet in 3 games in a row, so hopefully people stop talking
Mm.
about the Chelsea record. That'd be nice. Like I said, like weeks ago when we spoke about, it, I was like, this is the Prem. This isn't. Every team has like insane quality. Richarlison scored a 40-yarder against us. Like this just happens. This can happen in this league. I'm not surprised at all. Like even the Bayern goal, we didn't even do anything wrong, barring Miles, who maybe should, have his body side on and should do a little better. Like but the team was like tactically in a very good position. They just did a 50-yard crossfield pass with incredible pace and first time put it in the middle. And it's like, wow, that's the quality that these teams have sometimes. You could defend as much as you want, but they are
You
just going to
can't
score
legislate for that.
goal. Yeah, it's just how football is. Like sometimes, this is why I'm always a big like advocate of like sometimes you can do your best, but if someone's better, then it's just what it is. Like at the end of the day, like, I know a lot of people don't have that mentality, but I just think like
Mhm.
sometimes there is you could do whatever you can and be as good as you can, but someone might just be better, and sometimes you just got to accept that at that time to that is the case, and then try and improve to get to that level. But that's not how people look at it, and they blame like us coming second on Arteta. And I'm just like, wow, I don't really like. We were 2 seasons ago. We were fantastic. We didn't win the league. So I don't really think it's our fault. It is what it is.
Yeah. Isn't it crazy though? Like some people just can't have any level-headedness about stuff. I mean, Alex is saying just get him gone.
Yeah.
There you are, Alex. Mate, the tier list. All I've got is the original members. Do we do the original, not the most recent?
Yeah, could do that because it
All
wouldn't
right.
really. I Yeah, I do. Yeah, it's so funny. It's so crazy to think that. Like, I was just thinking that like Liverpool have lost 9 out of the last like 11, 12 games.
That's nuts, isn't it? I couldn't believe again.
Do
Was
you
it
know what it is?
PSV, wasn't it?
I keep saying this. It's complete variance. They got not like insanely lucky, but they got relatively quite lucky for quite a lot of last season. There was like 7 or 8 games where they did not deserve to win and they got wins. And now and even at the start of this season, the same thing happened. And now look what's happening. It always comes back to bite you. You can't run from it. Everything evens its way out at the end of the day, and
Yeah.
eventually it will come. So that's what
Quick couple of questions before we do this one. So 610 put, could Eze do a job at false 9 if we want to get Odegaard back in the team? Like, for me, I wouldn't do it. I'm sure he could do a job there, but I just think it it would ask a lot more questions of our press. I think the ability to play over the press as well, like in terms of like when we're in possession, first phase, I think that causes problems. It'd be interesting. It'd be really fun. It'd be really fun, but
I actually don't think the dynamics would change that much. I actually think that's probably like quite an easy fix to have, especially if you have an Odegaard in the team. Yeah, because right now, like how we press, Eze is alongside Marino anyway in the front two, and then he will cover the
I guess
midfielder.
Odegaard would start leading the press again, wouldn't he?
Well, yeah,
And
that's
then
Odegaard would just do the Marino role, the Eze role currently, where he presses the right centre back and he covers the midfielder receiving behind him, and then you could just have Eze as that first line of attack like Marino does on the left side. And I actually think Eze's pressing the last 2 games has been fantastic.
oh, he's got so much better.
And I actually think the Marino role might be easier for him than the role he actually has. And I think alongside Odegaard, that'd be fine. And I also think going from Log, like, I don't think it's the perfect situation, but we used to do it with Trossard because Trossard can bring a ball down pretty well. I think Eze can bring a ball down really well. And
I mean, that touch against Bayern was
yeah, like I don't think
godly.
we would. I don't think we have a need to do it because of like the fact that well, apparently, Arteta's been alluding to the fact we've got options up front now. So I don't know. Apparently, Gyökeres and Havertz might be fit for the Chelsea game, or at least on the bench. So
it just means a noose. That's what he means.
It's like, so that's not really like a concern as much if that happens. But I definitely think Eze, like was it against Tottenham? Yeah, I think Saka played up front against Tottenham. Was it Saka at like the last 20 minutes, 15 minutes? Because we brought off Marino and for like a midfielder or something. I can't remember. It was Waneri. I think he came on. I'm pretty sure we didn't have a striker on the pitch. And I was like, I'm pretty sure Saka's up front or someone was up front. It might have been Eze. But someone, I know for a fact thinking it was Funky. And I was like confused. Let me have a look at the subs.
I mean, to be fair, at the end of that game, I had lost my mind. So.
Oh, yeah. It was only the last, like, it was 88th minute, and there was, like, 5 minutes out. It was, like, 4. So it was only the last 7 minutes. But, yeah, Ethan Waneri came on for Marino.
Ethan came on, didn't he? Yeah.
So we must have played even Waneri or Saka up front. Like, I think it was Saka, by remembering it right.
For the last 2 minutes of the game.
So, like, that's interesting that he would even think of doing that. Like, he'd be like, oh, this game's over, Marino's off, because he never does that. Marino plays 90s.
Yeah.
So it's so interesting, and if Gyökeres and Havertz are back, I can't wait for Havertz. If Havertz and Gyökeres are back, like obviously it's not something we should do, but you should definitely experiment. I actually don't think Eze up front, centre forward would be that crazy. I think it kind of makes sense.
One other question. So Madrid fans want Mosquera, by the way. 40 million. Are we selling him? Ready? So we're going to say our answers after 3, 2, 1. No. I'm glad you said that.
We know how tough the centre back market is to buy from. We've bought him last year. Go find your own centre back. You got enough money.
Mate, it's easy. We just rock up to any club, make him into a centre back. Job done.
Yeah, so that's what you need to do. But like I don't know. It's funny, isn't it? Because Real Madrid are not going for Canate anymore. And they're going in for, looks like they're going to go for Mark Guay, which is absolutely hilarious.
Oh, mate,
like, Mark Guay is a good player, but how he's going to Real Madrid is crazy to me.
It's bonkers as well. Considering as well, Liverpool wanted him. And like, it's like, oh,
I
I just
guess
love the
Canate.
story.
The thing is, though, it gives Liverpool more. Like they have more leeway now. They basically Canate has to sign for them. I know, like he doesn't
Yeah,
have
they've
to. He
got the
could go
leverage
somewhere
now.
else. But if Canate's not going to go to Real Madrid, should he leave Liverpool? Where else is he going to go? I don't really see a point. He must just stay at Liverpool,
You
right? Like
know who
Van
I
Dijk.
could see him going to? Real random one. I could see him going to like a Bayern, playing alongside Upamecano or something. I just,
Well, they were a centre back partnership at
mm,
Leipzig. They wanted him years ago, but they got Upamecano. Liverpool got Canate. I
yeah.
definitely could see him at Bayern. Yeah, it'd be interesting. I don't know if like I mean he could leave still, and then Liverpool might just be messed up. This might just absolutely screw him over. I just think in assumption that if I was Canate, I'd probably just stay at this point. But then if they do come
I
like
think he should.
if they do come 10th, then like yeah, 'cause there's no point then really, is there?
So
He
Van
must.
Dijk as well. Van Dijk will be leaving. So they're like, you're guaranteed to be playing for them. Like, and hopefully they're getting someone like,
Who's their centre back options? Like they didn't even want to play
isn't
Joe
it
Gomez.
mental? Like, you spent all that money and not a single defender.
And they all they wanted the entire summer was Mark Guehi, and they wasted their time until they got a little bit screwed over by Palace, but they spent so long trying to get
Good.
him. Yeah, it was kind of their own fault as well. Like they're just negligent. They just didn't care about trying to get him in the whole time. And then on deadline day or 2 days before, they're messaging him, and it's like, oh, here
Mm.
we go. They now want to say. And even now, I was doing some editing the other day about a video, and in it, they were like, "Have we actually heard any links to centre backs to Liverpool barring Mark Guehi?" And they were like, "No, not really." I was like, "You would think at this point they would at least have like a list of players. It's like just one
Yeah.
guy, and it's like just because he's a free or he's cheap. Like Guehi's an okay player, but like, what's going on?"
Mate, final question before we go on to tier list. I think we can get Isak on the cheat now. I don't see the reason for it now. I genuinely don't. I think like because you've got Gyökeres in already. Havertz is coming back. Marino as our number 3. You got Jesus on top of that, like if you really want to. I just think that ship has sailed now. Like even on the cheap, I'd be like, sod it. You chose Liverpool over us anyway. Enjoy that ride right now. Like, just, yeah.
I do
And
think it's well, like I don't think Arsenal are going to sign many players now. I feel like we've had our fun. I feel like even for
yeah,
like we talk about like next summer and they might get a couple in January, but for the next 3 years, like our team's not even that old. Like until these players are like in their 30s, like they're all about like the big ones like 26, 27. We have no
yep,
reason to sign anyone. Like we need a left winger. In the next within 18 months,
yep.
we'd probably get a
Especially
left
with the
winger.
contracts running down and stuff. Yeah.
Yeah, yeah. I would imagine we'd get a left winger in the summer. Maybe we still need to sell someone. This is the thing. I don't even know if we can buy anyone without selling. We probably need another centre mid
Mate,
or
after we
DM.
get those Champions League and Premier League winning, oh, we get that finance
But so
coming in.
I
Ooh.
can't actually imagine Arsenal signing anyone other than like a left winger and a DM or centre mid or even both. Like I can
Yeah.
see us getting 2 midfielders in and then a winger.
Or
That's
like a
it.
left back if long term
Yeah.
Miles is definitely going to play in midfield. Like,
I feel like with all the midfield links that seem quite prominent, I just feel like I don't know what they think with Miles. I don't know because playing him as a left back, by the way, is stupid. Like he has to invert in the middle. We spoke about this like months ago, and I
mhm.
said that Miles can't play in a game where Zubamendi and Rice play him because he just can't invert and it's pointless. And when he played
And
against,
then you got Trossard as well starting that game. I even put
yeah,
on my Twitter, I was like, I'm really interested how this left side's going to work against their right with Elise and stuff. I was like, it just didn't seem wise to me. It's almost like it, I could be reading it wrong, but it felt like I've promised Miles he will be playing Champions League games. Like there was do you know what I mean? There was almost
I
like
think yeah, I think it's a bit. I
I've
also
got to
think
play him. He's got to have minutes. And I'm sure Mikel has major faith in him anyway, to like, regardless, like, you can come in and you will still play well. But there was just something a little bit off about that.
I also felt like Martinelli and Madueke weren't fit enough to start, or like
Yeah.
sharpness. They've only just come back. I feel like maybe they would have just started anyway, but they weren't like at that level, and then it didn't matter anyway because 30 minutes in, you're coming on
Mm,
Madueke. But I feel like it was that sort of thing where they kind of they wanted that they weren't ready sort of thing as well.
yeah,
But yeah, I thought it was weird. Like he had a bad game, and but I weren't really surprised. Like I didn't think the dynamics helped him at all. Like I don't think
no,
he should just not play with Zubimendi and Rice. One of them he'll play next to them, fine, but not both. It's just
yeah,
pointless.
yeah, 100%. Right, let's do this tier list then. So we have got, what should we call this? New man. They've become a new man. We'll go major improvements, which that's really annoyed me. That's gone to different. Oh, my ACD. Majorly improved. There we go. No change, or just like a small improvement. Let's go.
Yeah, because I mean, most of them are gonna have improved. I would hope,
Yeah,
considering we are like one of the biggest clubs in the world.
we'll go same, and we'll go regress. Okay. So obviously we've only got the players here that have been at the club previously, so not the kind of new additions. Although it would be quite fun to do them. But there we go. Let's start off with, go on, David Raya.
Yeah.
Did we do this since like last season? Or do we do since they joined the club?
Let's do it from the start of last season. I think
Okay.
that's a good level actually. I think Raya has since the start of last season probably small improvement. I don't know, like he has made, but I thought he was good before the start of last season. I know a lot of people didn't, but the 6 months after the Luton game, he was actually really good. And I don't know if
Mm,
he improved to like that the 6 months in the season before from the start of last year. Like, was it that
yeah,
big?
that's up here. Like,
Yeah, that's like majorly improved. But I feel like he was pretty good in his first season for us. I think people just criticized him a lot, but
yeah,
I think he was fine. Like, I mean,
I think, yeah, because I think what's happened now is people are finally understanding how good he is and how much of a vital component he is to the team. Um, so I think he has got like a little bit better, but you can't say he's like a new man. It's not like
we
he
didn't
was
even get to
awful
see it
before.
anymore, do we? He has one
No,
shot
yeah.
target a game. I was like reading a tweet about it, and I was like, yeah, it's true. He actually, like his distribution has been good, but like he's doing nothing. Like he doesn't have to save anything because we just defend so well. What do you think about the whole chip thing?
I mean, it's not like he's doing a Neuer where, do you know what I mean? I don't feel like he's not like he's running out in panic and then getting chipped. I think the chances of most of these goals that have ended up above him, most of them are kind of real speculative efforts that have just been outrageously well hit and gone in. Like, and he's being told to position himself there. I think it's almost, you remember when Pep first came in and all the kind of the legacy media was going, "Oh my God, you can't play out like that. You can't, you're asking for trouble." And then he finally got an Edison and it was like, "Oh, now I've got a keeper that can do what I need him to do." And everyone went, "Oh yeah, yeah, risk reward, it's probably worth it." Like he's winning all the trophies. I feel it's that the same. I think Arteta isn't stupid enough, and nor is like goalkeeping coaches to think, "Oh, yeah, he's in the wrong position, but we'll carry on doing it." I think it's just
Yeah,
one of those things like modern football, really. Like he could just stay
yeah.
on his line, but
I do think it's like it's a typical like I don't know media narrative driven thing where it's based on there's not context applied, and I'm
Mhm.
context guy. Apply context to everything. And it's just like I say this all the time, and I'm like, if a goalkeeper concedes like three insane goals, like we're talking like Saka near post finishes into the top of the net, you
Yeah,
know, if they concede like like 4 or 5 of them, would you say that goalkeeper's got a problem at his near post? And it's like, well, at the end of the day, like, there's just things that you can't do. Raya is only 6 foot. He is going to get, it's likely he gets chipped. He is tiny compared to keepers,
Yeah.
which is nothing he could do as a physical problem. I just am so tired of the. I just feel like Raya is a very hard goalkeeper to judge when you don't watch Arsenal every game, and I get that. But I hate. It seems like the three big arguments or criticisms that people have had about Raya in the last year have been his penalty saving, or he jumps too early. When yes, again he's small, so he has to jump early, and also he's got a good record from pen, so who cares? The fact that he's not getting close to free kicks, which is just a nothing thing. Like the free kicks are good, they're good, and then a chip thing, and I'm like, we're just nitpicking at stuff that just is not his fault. Like he's small, has given the benefit of the doubt. He's literally
He's
been
not
great.
having howlers. Like look
Yeah,
at his cross claiming. I think that's almost gone away. People have like given up saying how good he is at claiming crosses because he just does it all the time, every time. And he's so tiny, but he commands that area. Distribution, like his distribution against Bayern Munich, some of the passes, like 30, 40-yard passes, like just over blades of grass, you know, kept so low. Just unbelievable. Unbelievable. And then I always back him if there's like, you know, he's had moments this season of very, very good saves as well. But everyone then starts to jump on this and going, oh, well, this isn't good enough. Like, keepers make mistakes. Fortunately, when they do, they're always costly. It's like the most unforgivable position, isn't it? Like, no one's going to be hounding Eze every week about him because he's tried to square a ball to Saka. Unfortunately, David Raya, like,
yeah. I mean, there's other players I wanna. Like, you made a good point there. Like, there's other players in this list I want to talk about that as well.
all right. Don't need to go through this. Don't need to go through this. Calafiori?
Poor Hyde, man. I watched him.
Oh, what do you want to do? Same? Oh, no, he's actually improved, to be fair to him.
I mean, he came through the academy, so kind of one of them ones where I don't really know if we can count him. But
yeah, I'm just thinking from like last year,
right
like
in the Bundesliga, man. He just play. The problem is he just gets put in crap teams, and then they just concede like 50 shots a game. But I watched him against Bayern. They lost like 5-0, and I was like, he made like 4 really good saves, and I was like, this guy's not even bad, man.
haven't Bayern like averaged 4 goals a game or something at the moment?
They literally on the weekend, I think they played Mainz. They were 2-0 down from 2 corner goals, but they just didn't mark the players. You know, typical Bundesliga. And then they scored 6. Like, what's going on? How does this happen then?
That is nuts, isn't it? Oh my god. Yeah. Should we keep Carl in same?
Oh, bless him. Yeah, might as well. It doesn't really count. I feel like academy players we can't really judge.
Yeah, exactly. It's a bit, bit harsh.
Calafiori.
Oh, would you go? Yeah, go straight into Calafiori.
Oh my god, Calafiori. Oh my god. I'd say it's majorly improved just because I don't think we really saw a lot. Like, obviously, we're talking about when he joined the club, but last year he kind of gave me what I expected to an extent. Like, he is chaotic. I kind of knew he was a bit chaotic. I kind of expected his running power to be really good. Like, we saw patches last season of like the player that he is and the player he can be. It's just the injuries, the consistency. There was a problem there all the time. But this year, oh my god, people aren't talking about this guy, but he's one of the best. Like, I genuinely think behind Cucurella right now, he's like probably the second best left back in the country. And I just think he's fantastic. Like in the last couple of games, I've been really focusing on him, and I'm like, this guy is playing better and better and better the more he's playing. And that cameo against Bayern, he comes into the game. His first touch, he gets an assist with. I actually think it's such a funny assist because he's man-to-man marking Elise. They try to do like this switcheroo on us, a bait and switch, where Elise comes short from out wide, and I think Lima comes inside, and they try and like sneak it into Lima. So when we win the ball back with Reece, Calafiori's just there because he's man-to-man marking Elise and he's pushed up with him. So, and then he's like, oh, I might as well go on a run then. And I'm like, it's just so funny. And, the crossing level has been better. Calafiori's great. Like, he's a great player. Like, I want Italy to go to the World Cup just because of him. That's how much I like him.
Yeah. I'm going to argue, can he be a new man simply because he's able to walk and run now?
That is true.
last year.
That is true.
I don't know if we even got that out of Calafiori at that point.
That is true.
So,
That is true. I think
um,
that he is. There's an argument to be made that Calafiori's been our best player this season. Like this, the argument is still there. Like it was there, and then it kind of went down a bit. I think there's probably more players that have kind of
in
propped
terms
up
of
now.
impact, like
It just doesn't feel the same when he's not in the team. Like
yeah,
and that's how you know how good he's been. Like I don't know, like Miles has been like decent in some games, and obviously Miles wasn't great in the game against Bayern, but yeah, like it just you feel Calafiori now, like he just feels so impactful, and like the left side this season has been the best the left side's ever been since 22-23 by a mile.
100%.
And Calafiori's a big reason for that because he's been consistent. He's played. I feel like a lot of people talk about his connection with Trossard, but I genuinely think if you put Calafiori next to Martinelli, next to Wes, I still think he finds a good level out of them because I think he's that good at the moment.
Yeah.
I don't mind, but I think he deserves his plaudits. He's been brilliant this season.
Miles Skelly.
Well, we can't really do
harsh
academy
after that Bayern game as well. Like,
because
he is up there. If you go from
the
where
start
he
of our
started,
season, he was a 16-year-old in the academy, so it
yeah,
just
so I
seems
get.
it seems a bit stupid to even have him. We should just not do academy people because it's just like
Okay, let's just put into account from Miles. Let's say I've just realised we've got Reece Nelson here. In terms of Miles, I feel like majorly improved. I mean, new man really from last year. But in terms of like the start of this season compared to the end of last season, I don't know. You could argue any of those
He's just
three.
not played enough, though, has he? Like, he's only played like 400 minutes, and I don't really make judgments until I see about 1,000 minutes of players usually. Like, he's just not played enough to really be consistent. It's also like the thing where, like, his last game, he was bad against Bayern. He wasn't brilliant in the game he played before that against in the cup against Brighton. But in the other games he played, he was fantastic. Like, he's been in some of these other games, he's been like one of our best players. And even against Brighton, I did say it.
Great.
I did say at the time against Brighton, I thought that like I feel like some of the opinions about him was a little bit over the top. I feel like he got physically bullied, but I also think there were fouls a lot of the time that weren't given. And he got an assist in that game, to be fair. So like I think like he got an assist against Port Vale as well. I think so. Like he's been doing all right. Like he just hasn't played because Calafiori's been so good. But and we played in Capier for a game as well in left
Slavia,
back.
wasn't it?
Yeah. So he's literally just not played enough for even to really comment on it. But yeah, we can put him there.
Yeah, true. Kivior's left. Gabriel.
Kivior is so good, by the way. He's absolute beast for Porto.
I
mean, the thing is, it's hard to like kind of put on a timeline of his improvement, but like 23-24, I think was the year Gabriel took the step up. I think 22-23 he was really good in that title race, and obviously we had injury stuff.
Yeah, for there he's there.
But from like 24-25, the start of last season, I think still probably a major improvement. I don't know, like he is, I think, the best centre back in the world right now. Shame he's not fit, but I genuinely just think Gabriel. There's so many soft factors of him being a leader, him being a real, like, not even a cult hero, but it's more like the fact that he kind of epitomizes what it is to play for Arsenal right now.
Yep.
In terms of on the pitch and off it. He's a brilliant role model. All of that great things are great, and his performances are brilliant. The thing is with him, it's like, this is what I wanted to say earlier when you were talking about Raya making mistakes. I was like, it is funny because Raya will make like a kind of half mistake, you could argue, maybe a performance mistake against Sunderland. But Gabriel's also made, like, that was kind of on Gabriel as well. Gabriel did make a mistake against Newcastle, which Walt might have scored against. Like, Gabriel's been arguably one of the best.
I forgot that one.
Yeah, like Gabriel's been one of the best players in this league this season. I think there's a shout for him to be the best player until the last couple of weeks. And like I saw on the Athletic, they had a podcast, and one Kaya on there said that, and they were laughing. And some guy was like, they were like, name players that have had a better season. They said Doku, and I was like, yeah, okay, a winger that has good performances scores one goal is not better.
Yeah, no output whatsoever.
Yeah, no output. Yeah, I was like, sorry, but no. But like Gabriel, like I think it's hard because like people don't really remember the mistakes because we win them games, but it's like those thing I said about Raya. Everyone wants to
Yeah.
nitpick on Raya's things because of Raya's not tall enough, Raya's not done this well, but no one cares about Gabriel. And like I get Gabriel's got that certified love with the fan base, but like he has made some mistakes this year sometimes.
Yeah.
But he's still been fantastic. He's still one of our best players.
Yeah, for me, he is the best centre back in the world. Although I'll tell you what, last night, William Saliba, was it last night or was it the night before? What day are we on? Friday.
Wednesday. It's Friday.
Night before. God, this week is blurring for me. It felt like passing the God, you know? It felt like finally Van Dijk, after I don't know what he was doing for Liverpool, he just showed, I don't know, he was just fallible. Whereas Saliba, don't think, and I said this, I don't think it was like an all-out action performance for him. But it really reminded me of Van Dijk in terms of, you know, like the times where you watch Van Dijk and he looks like he's just on cruise control. He doesn't have to jump into tackles. He doesn't have to like go and clatter anyone because he just does his job, does everything right, passing's on point, no one gets near the goal. And I felt that was like Saliba against Bayern. I think he was excellent. And in terms of marshalling that defense, considering we had Miles and Mascara there, you know, he's the player looking to kind of orchestrate everything. I think he was fantastic. I wonder if we say small improvement simply because, like, he hasn't got much headroom to go anyway. It's a case of, okay, you have to be the best in the world, not one of the top 5 in the world. But I think like stepping into midfield, I thought that was really interesting now where he's doing that, especially when we're getting like a man-for-man press. His passing as well seems to be more adventurous since Mosquera's come in. I think that little timeout and Mosquera really like pumping balls forward. It was like, oh, actually, yeah, I should probably be doing that as well. If this young lad's come in, like what was it, 14 million we paid for him? And I think that was a bit of not a rock up his ass, but a nudge in the right direction. I think he's shown improvements again, which is mad to think because he is just so good. He's so good.
Yeah, I would agree with a small improvement. I think as well, we're talking about from the start of last year, like 24, 25. I think, like, I don't think Saliba, I think Saliba's always good, and that's the thing. He's always that level. But, like, when he came into the team in 22, 23, he was already at that level. And, like, it's hard for him, like you said, to improve that much. And I feel like when he and Gabriel came into the team, everyone was always talking Saliba's a better one, Saliba's a better one, and I think now it's like Gabriel is the better one. But because of that improvement he's had over time. But I think Saliba has been steadily going on. And I actually think like I think the last 2 games for Saliba have been his best games in a while. Like not like he's been bad or anything, but yet like you said, stepping up, being that leader. I think in terms of I do think Saliba's kind of had not an easy role, no role's easy, but I think that he's kind of been on cruise control a little bit with Gabriel being the more aggressive one, being the one that leads,
and he's got
being the
Timber
one
outside him.
Yeah, like he's got these players around him a lot, and I feel like I do think like the Kivior coming in last season was a really good like learning curve for Saliba, and he wasn't good. I don't think Saliba was great when Kivior came in, but I think that will teach him in the future. And Mascara, he's looked a lot better with. Hincapié is a bit of a leader in that sense, so he can always like work off him as well. I think I love his like he is like we like him pushing out into midfield with the ball. He's doing that a lot more this season. You know, in the Slavia Prague game, he basically played in midfield when Zubimendi was injured. And if Zubimendi's not or suspended, if Zubimendi's not fit to play, I reckon we see that a lot more. So these are the sort of adaptations I want to see. And I think in the last like month though, I've seen really good performances from him. So I'm like happy. I'm like, yeah, I feel like he's like back on that curve to go up again. But yeah, it's like hard. He's like top 3, 4 centre backs in the world anyway. So it's like. Yeah. He's trying to beat his partner, basically.
Yeah, exactly. But I think the other thing is that the general consensus, like, because most football fans won't watch Arsenal like, you know, the people watching this channel or us do. So most football fans, when you look at a defender, you go, oh, what, you know, is that what have you done for me lately thing? okay, well, let me see an amazing slide tackle. Let me see them like towering over anyone. And when he first came in, we weren't so obsessed with control at the time. Mikel had like, it was free flowing football. And I think he had to cover a lot of ground. He had to do a lot more channel running, balls over the top and things like that. But now our system is so good and it's everything, everyone knows their position. Everything's just autonomous. For him, he doesn't have to do that anymore. So for the general fan, they just don't see that side of the game because he hasn't got to do it. It's not like it's not in his locker anymore. And I think that's part of the reason. I think like it will go in ebbs and flows. I think at some point in this season, people go, "Oh, Saliba's the best defender in the world. It's not Gabriel. Oh, he's gone back past him." And I think we'll end up with that quite a lot, like a yo-yo effect of it's one, then it's the other, and which is what a privileged position we're in to say that about our centre backs. They are just so good, so good. Ben White. I mean, he's had injuries, hasn't he?
I mean, he certainly regressed since the start of 23-24, like, or 24-25, sorry. Like, 23-24, he was unbelievable. And I just don't really think last year he was great until he got injured like a month and a half in, and then basically we've never seen him since. So it's kind of, I don't even think I've seen a fit Ben White since.
For Timber.
He is definitely, like, I said this like a couple of like weeks ago, I might have said it like 2 months ago now. I said that Ben White is arguably one of the most like the guys that will probably leave the club. Like they have to consider selling him if he's not going to play. We spent 50. He's the most expensive defender that we have in the squad that we paid money for, and he just sits on sits on the bench and doesn't play because he's never fit. And Timber's amazing. Like, there is surely better right backs that you can get that can kind of do like a backup role or even like a come in and at least be fitter. Or at least younger.
And I think now Mosquera's like leapfrogged him as that right centre back cover as well. Because I think previously you'd go, oh, if Saliba goes down, Ben White would come in. But now it's like, wow, I think Mosquera would go in.
Yeah, I agree. Like, I really do think it depends on money, of course, but there has to be some consideration of selling him at some point if he's just going to continue never to be fit. And it's unfortunate because he literally played through injuries for about a year, and this is what happens when you do that.
Yeah.
And
I love his personality.
Yeah.
Like, he's such a fun player. Like, just that he's just always on the wind up. Like, I immediately think of him like kicking the ball and the goalkeeper glove. Like, just things like that. The fact he went on a dog walk for an interview. Like, I just think as much as he comes across, like judging a book by its cover, he is the complete opposite. Like, I think he's just sound. Like, even in interviews, he just makes me laugh. It's like proper dry sense of humor.
We're quite good at football, aren't we?
Yeah. And like the one where they're like, oh, you're now going by Benjamin. Like, is there a reason for that? Funny. Like, yeah, all right. Like, he's quality.
I hope he sorts his fitness out because he is so good. I don't know, like he was good. He was yeah, he did break his body for the cause. That's the sad thing about this whole thing, isn't it? Like with someone like Kieran Tierney, it's like I get a lot of people love Kieran Tierney, like Katie's a ledge, I get that, but he just had consistent like ankle issues. That wasn't our fault. Like Jesus as well, like his injury issues aren't our fault. He's not even played that much at the club really. But like Ben White, like Havertz and Ben White are two examples of people that we just didn't get backups for years, and they played way too much, got ran into the ground, and now they can't stay fit. And everyone's like, oh yeah, well we should get rid of that. Even like I'm saying it, and I'm like, it's just not really fair, is it, on the two guys? Like, so I'm hoping they both come back really fit. Ben White, played 12 minutes against Bayern. It was all right. This is, that's the start. That's the start. You play them minutes.
And I think that's the idea, isn't it? I think the whole point of bringing him in on that match was less of give Timber a rest, more of we can build you up a little bit more. We might be able to give Timber a bit of a rest at some point, especially with the league format of this Champions League. Like, yeah, play Ben White. Like, there's no point. And he's such a good player. Like the Calafiori assist to Madueke. Ben White's got that in his locker all day. You know, he
His
can do that, and
crossing
that's the one thing of like,
is really good.
oh, 5 minutes left. We need a goal. You know what? Put Ben White on. Like, it sounds ridiculous. And set pieces. Like, he's
Bro,
great at set pieces.
if I was like if I was the Arsenal manager, which won't happen anytime soon, um, I would so just like, oh, Zubimendi's tired. Let's just put Ben White DM. I mean, that wouldn't
Oh
look
my God,
that
that'd be
wouldn't be
sick.
that wouldn't be a good look when you just got Norgard. Like, sorry, mate, but like, I think that like I don't know. I
Mate,
want him.
imagine a midfield. We just play a midfield with Ben White at DM. We go and put Calafiori as left 8. Just get, you know what? We're just playing all our fullbacks in
I
midfield
just
here.
want Ben White, like when we're winning games comfortably, I just want him to keep coming on because that's how you slowly build up fitness. I do
Yeah.
think the big problem is that like he doesn't play, and then we're like, oh, you're starting in the Champions League game against, I don't know, Shakhtar, and like we're thinking, oh yeah, easy game, but like at the end of the day, it's still a tough game if Ben White's not played
Yeah.
and he's just not ready for it. So I think he's a player that needs like 10 minutes here, 10 minutes there. Like even if we're drawing to Chelsea or whatever's going on with Chelsea, like other than if we're losing, then I don't see the point. But if we're not, if we it's like 10 minutes left and we're drawing or winning, like yeah, bring him on. Like I don't know, like just try it. Like he needs the
It's
fitness at
almost
the
like
end
the
of the day.
Saka thing. Like,
Yeah.
we're drawing at that point. To take him out, that's massive. I think,
Yeah, he
yeah,
wasn't.
if you
He
can do
didn't
with
have the
Saka,
best
you do.
game. Like fair enough. Like bring him off, do that substitution. We've got Martinelli. Who loves the Champions League. He's scoring every game this season. They're going to give him
Yeah.
half the pitch to run into for some reason. So it's just I don't know. It's just I know. It's so great. Like we've got all these options. I guess. I hope Ben White plays though more.
Urian Timber. I mean, I think up there, just in terms of consistency. I think he's also showing a different side of his game recently, like a more progressive side of his game. God, he's good.
He's a new man. I don't know what you're doing for him in the second category.
He's a new man.
He's literally. I would.
Oh yeah, guess because he can walk either.
I would argue that barring maybe some of these incredible Declan Rice like individual performances in big games, Urian Timber like low key is our best player. Like he actually might be our best player. He is. Last season there was I think he was definitely up top 2 player of the seasons for us. I don't care what the awards get. And I think this season it's the same thing. I think now maybe Rice is more in that conversation because of the big performances. And since Newcastle, Rice has been like unreal. But I think
Isn't that
Timber.
so funny though that we've just said Gabriel might be the best centre back in the world now, and we earlier said Calafiori could be the player of the season, and now we're talking about Timber.
Our defense is this good. I've seen this around Europe that I just don't think defense is. Like people go on about like Bastoni, and like Bastoni as a runner, as a passer, incredible. Don't get me. And he does play, but he plays in a back 5, which is easier for centre backs because they have more help, and they can see loads. They see all the time in Serie A. They're good defensively. Like I know it's not all on Bastoni, but like I just with our unit being so good, every player deserves their plaudits, especially this season. But Timber, like individually, is just excellent. Like this guy we're talking about, like. Definitely top 2 right backs in the world. I do think right back is probably an easier position to like get into. And there's definitely like an argument with Hakimi. His attacking work is just so much better this season. It's literally times like 1,000 better than last year. It's not even comparable. He's created more XG this year already than he did last year. He scored more goals. He's got more assists. He's created more assists this season than last year already as well. And that was true from about 8 games into the season. Unbelievable player all around the pitch. He is so comfortable on the ball. He never loses it. And individually, one-on-one, like there's some games that it might be a bit difficult, but he still does well. He is just incredible. I mean, he was at Ajax and like he was good at Ajax, very good at Ajax, but he come from the Dutch league. It's a big thing to remember. Like the Dutch league is not necessarily a tried and trusted way of going into the Prem. Not many players have become that good. He was injured the entire first season for Arsenal with an ACL injury, and he's come back and he's like one of the best right backs in the world for 18 months now. We're talking. It's not like a short sample size, so incredible.
I think the original idea was probably play him at left back and keep Ben White at right back.
I remember having arguments about that with so many people. I remember when we first signed him, so many people liked to be he's going to play left back, and I was like, I just don't think he's going to play left back. I
think that season. And then, like progressively, then getting not like a
Yeah, I see
specialist
that.
left
He
back,
did
but
play left
someone.
back in the first game, I think.
Yeah, he
Um,
got man of the match, didn't he, against City?
But I did think that going, I when I watched Timber a lot in Ajax, I was like, this guy's going to be way more suited to right back. And I did think that, like, at the time, people didn't want to have them conversations because of Ben White, and it was difficult. And I was just like, and people were like, why have they spent 40 million on a backup? And I low key straight away already when we signed him, I was like, I think this guy's going to replace Ben White at some point. I just think he's
Mm,
just going to be that long term thing. And obviously, we at the time we didn't even really have any left backs. It was like Zinni and Tierney who were like never there. So obviously
yeah.
now, like, Miles came through, Calafiori's there, makes sense.
Um, just quickly, 6'10". Our backup back four is as good as anything in Europe. That's mad because that's not even not even reaching really.
I mean,
Like it is so good.
Capier like a start. He was a starting centre back for like Leverkusen in Europe and Invincible. Like he
Yep.
weren't starting too much in the Invincibles, but like he was like around the squad quite a lot. Like he just sits on our bench, and I'm like, that is insane to me. Like, just, this guy would be
Mosquera
like,
right now
he'd be
is
Liverpool's
so
best
good.
defender.
You got Ben White, Miles Skelly. Oh man, it's crazy. Declan Rice. Where do you want to put him?
I mean, this is going to be my hot take. He is the since he joined the club, he's the most improved player
He's
in the
regressed.
entire team. And since the start of last season, I think maybe the start of last season, I think 23-24 he's probably quite good. But I think since the start of last season, he's probably been our best player. And I don't think he's been. And I think the transformation of him as well is big because he wasn't bad at West Ham. I do see West Ham fans saying like Arsenal didn't make him this hero. He was always good, but like he wasn't playing like this at West Ham. He
No.
was doing a couple of carries a game in DM, helping them defend. We have turned him into not only the best, probably the best 8 in the world right now, barring Pedri, who has actually been
Yep.
pretty on and off this season in big games. I know. He's like, not only we've changed his position to be one of the best players in the world. Everything at this you need in a game, he is incredibly good at. Every little detail, every single thing. There is things like set pieces is such a soft factor, such an easy way to show an example of it. But yeah, he didn't take set pieces at West Ham, and then he just randomly took some for us at Dubai, and then we realised how good he is. And now look, he's not only the best, like I think arguably the best set piece taker in the world. I think he is. I think he is the best set piece taker in the world. I think he's better than Saka, actually. I think he is. And
Mm,
he's England's set piece taker as well. Like, he is that good at that sort of level. Like, these sort of like factors that he just wasn't doing at West Ham. Like, he was a good
yeah.
player at West Ham that had the talent and the quality to get to this level, but we have turned him into an absolute star. And since he's not always great, like it is very much like short term thinking. Like before Newcastle, I remember saying he starts the season slow. He weren't having a great start to the season. But since Newcastle, he's been unreal. And like every time it's them big games that are the big thing. Like I was speaking to a friend today, and I said that if anyone in our team's going to win the Ballon d'Or, it will be Rice, because not only is like I mean I just think Rice is very marketable and like it is just easy, but I also think Rice is every single time we have a big Champions League game, a big league game, he turns up. And like I think that like sometimes we talk about like Ballon d'Ors, but it does come from players just turning up in the big games consistently. Like Bellingham might not be your 9 out of 10 player against Almora in the weekend, but as soon as there's that big Champo game, he's going to be there, being one
Hands
of the
up.
best players. And that's why you need these. And Rice is consistently a 7 out of 10 in all the games, and then in these
Oh
big
yeah.
games, he's like a 9 out of 10, 10 out of 10. Like unbelievable! What a player!
I've just brought up some of his stats. So by club, right? For West Ham, 15 goals, 13 assists. For Arsenal, 18 goals, 26 assists. So he's already got 3 more goals and he's doubled his assists. But he played 245 games for West Ham, only 122 for Arsenal. He's played essentially half the games, double his assists, and got a couple extra goals. Like he was never this player. He just wasn't. There were elements. I remember, his straight line running and his ability to carry the ball, but now he's a different animal. Like he really is. Yeah, yeah, worth every penny, which is mad, absolutely mad. Martin Odegaard. Ooh. Oh, because at the beginning of last season, I had quite high hopes for him, and then it was a real down year for him, I think. Patches where he had some really interesting performances. But
It's
then
it's
this
co- it's
season,
it's just
he's
unfair, isn't it? Because like his best season was 22-23 and then 23-24. So we're judging
yeah.
this was like 24-25, and like, well, yeah, he's like regressed because he's not as good as them 2 seasons. But
Mhm.
I think Odegaard is so funny. Everyone's so like actually thinks he's awful.
I
Like,
I think he goes here
yeah,
simply because I don't think he has regressed. I think like he's playing a different role. He's also been plagued by injuries, like over the last this season and last season. He didn't look right. There was definitely something going on. Like he looked like his ankle was made of jelly at times. Like he'd try to strike the ball, and it was just didn't look right to me. Um, at the beginning of this season, in the short cameos he's made, some of the passes he's played, I've been like, oh, you can still do it then. And again, I think it's another one where, I talked about Saliba seeing Mosquera come in. I think he's seen Eze come in. And I have a feeling that's going to really be a good thing for Martin Odegaard. Because he's going to be looking and going, oh, he's got a hat trick. He's the one who came on and made that pass against City. He's just done another pass like that against Bayern Munich. And they're very different players. But I'm hoping like that will bring out that kind of like, I don't want to say like the killer side of Odegaard, because I don't think he's that type of player, but I hope it brings out like a more incisive side of him where he's like, actually, I can play the dangerous ball between the lines or the ball over the top, the more risky pass. But the way they interpret that role is so different. But I think, say this season, by the end of this season, I think we're going to be talking about up here somewhere. But I think
yeah,
right
it's
now, I think just same.
It's so hard because, like, in 22-23 and 23-24, like, his output was really good, and his output has, like, kind of fell off a cliff in the
Yeah.
last year and a half. So it's like, I don't know. I don't think Odegaard is as bad as I think he had a bad season last year. I don't even think that like he's performing better this year because of like anything like Eze coming in. I just genuinely think he was injured. His ankle wasn't
Mm.
right. He had a kid, and it's been a known fact that he was tired and couldn't sleep for like weeks and months, and he was always knackered, which is
Having a
like.
kid doesn't make you tired. Having 3 kids makes you tired, all right?
So he's got to wait for that when he gets his third one. But like
I, I I
I
think he could probably employ a nanny, unlike I can.
yeah, but like I feel like there's so many like I feel like with Odegaard, I don't know. I think this season he was playing. I think he's been better, obviously. I do think it is funny though because so many people just think he's awful. I just don't get it. Like, we had one bad year. Let's give him time, guys. This season has been
Yeah.
promising. I remember going into the Newcastle game. You wanted Waneri to play over him, and I thought that was insane. I thought that is crazy. So it's sort of like Ethan Waneri over Martin Odegaard.
I'll be honest, I was just done at the time. I was just like, when you're like, I just want to see something new, kind of like our left-hand side. Like, and right now, ironically, it's performing really well, regardless of who we play out on the left. But I think it was just that thing of like, I need some time away from you.
He's
Right?
been
I
injured
need to
though, like
see something
the whole
else.
season.
No,
We
no,
haven't seen
no,
him
no. No, I just need more time. Need more,
But
more
like, I
time.
can't
At
like
that point, I did.
I
Yeah.
don't know. Odegaard just does look different this year. Like, there's something about him. Even the way he like applies himself. Like, what was that? The
Mm,
Champions League game that we play, Olympiacos. Like, in
yeah.
that game, that's like one of his only like 90 minutes he's played because he's been injured all the time. He was just unreal, and it's like the energy that he was bringing in that game. He was running more than I've ever seen him run. He just looked so fit. He was just so like, I don't know,
It
experimental,
was the
confident.
haircut.
It might actually be the haircut, low
Although his
key.
hair started going back like that now.
Oh no!
Have
Oh
you seen? Did
no!
you see that?
No, but I would.
Yeah, because after our last chat, because we said, I talked about Osman earlier, didn't I? But yeah, I noticed. I went, oh no, don't do it, Martin. We want military Martin. That's what we want.
Yeah,
We
like
want- get-
serious, no messing about. I just think like I do think this. You know what? Let's just say some person that I don't particularly like in the media did this stupid tweet. Well, I don't know why I pretend like Piers Morgan did a dumb tweet like he always does when he talks about Arsenal. He's like a stupid fan when he gets about Arsenal. It just annoys me so much. And he did that tweet the other day saying about when Rice had the captain's armband against Atleti. And he's like, and instantly, like, spreading hate towards Martin Odegaard. This guy is always going on about, I wouldn't do that because I don't want to offend. It will be horrible to these people. But it's no problem throwing our captain under the bus for no reason when we've won it, when we've literally haven't lost a game in like 2.5 months. And this is the sort of things that annoy me so much. Everyone always goes on about Odegaard and this stupid captaincy role. He is the captain. He's been voted by the team over and over again as the captain because he gets along with every single player and he is a leader. He doesn't have to shout all the time, but he actually does shout in games way more than people seem to give him credit for. He is loud. He's a vocal player. He always is. How do you think
he
press
is really good at
works?
doing this as well.
Well, yeah, that's what Rice does, and that's why everyone's getting captaincy. It's like,
exactly.
it's like everyone could do that. Like Trossard's really good at that. Trossard should be captain, should he? Like, I think when
Trossard would be great captain because I can imagine. I low key think he would come out and say something really, really like left field after a game.
Yeah,
he's just got that inner anger in him.
Yeah, he's moody. He's gonna say something. But I think like with Odegaard, like I think this season he does look different. I think with Eze, everyone was like, "Oh, Eze's going to replace him. Eze's going to replace him." In the patches we've seen them play together, they've been fantastic. So I actually think that's like a real good combination. I will be interested to see if that's something I would expect us right now for Chelsea to play both of them. I would assume that they would both play. They might not, but yeah, I don't see why not. That's like our best.
What, Eze out on the left then?
Yeah, I think that's the plan. I don't know if Odegaard's fit. Odegaard plays. That's what people need to realize.
Fair, if Trossard's not fit, it makes perfect sense because you're putting in someone that is fully fit out on that left-hand side because we don't know if I guess Noni.
I think Noni's
and Martinelli on, but
I think Noni could start, but I just don't really like Noni on the left. I know people are like he can switch with Saka, and I think that's fine. But I don't think that's. I don't know if I'd want that in this sort of Chelsea game. I don't really care about that too much.
But then it's the player returning back to the club. I need to look up if that's a real thing.
No, that
feels like a real thing. No.
Who did I watch the other day? I can't remember. I watched a team play another team. And they brought a player into their squad, and I was like, they've only brought him in because he's against his old club, and they're getting that juju. I was like, I know what they're doing. I can't remember what I watched. I was like, this guy doesn't even play that much, and he's playing in this game. And I was like, that's so funny. And like, there is that sort of sense that maybe Noni, maybe that's why we should Havertz shove him in, just get him all back. But I think if I was to guess what he would do is probably put Odegaard in and Eze on the left because it actually works perfectly. Like we know Arteta likes keeping the same teams a lot. Like he wants to keep like stability in the team. Yeah. But Trossard's injured. Trossard looks like he's going to be out for a few weeks now, which has kind of come at like a good time. And when Odegaard's come back, Odegaard probably is fit enough to start. I would assume he came off the bench against Bayern. Maybe not, but we know what Odegaard's like. So. And Odegaard's the captain. He if he's fit, he's playing. People need to realize that. Like, I don't even think there's going to be many games where Odegaard's going to be sitting on the bench when he's not playing. So I don't know. It'd be interesting to see Odegaard and Eze. I don't know how Eze will do on the left. I still think he could be good there. I've always said he could be better there, but in the last 2 games, he's actually been really good in midfield. So I don't know how I feel about that anymore. But I don't know. It's one of them things where like they're going to work so well in games. Yeah. Yeah, that's so true. Like Eze's like our 4th least touched player. That's a weird way of phrasing it, but
least touched player.
But yeah, he's like very, very minimal touches, but he has been getting more involvement. But that's the thing, like Chelsea's a weird game, and I think against Chelsea specifically, I remember last year Odegaard came back for the Chelsea away game, and he was really good in that game, and we should have won, and we just missed like 400 chances. I think that he is really important for games like Chelsea, like them really tactical, incisive games where there's going to be a lot of movement, a lot of Cucurella.
Yeah,
What's
I
he
think
going? Where's
Carl
he going up front?
Palmer's going to come back as well, isn't he?
Do you think
He's
he's going
just
to be
got it
fit
written
just
all
to
over.
start? Yeah, like, do you think that's just because they've been playing well? Like, I
I
don't,
mean, he only stubbed his toe. I do think,
yeah,
like, oh
but
my
like,
God.
but before that, he had that other injury, and then the one
Yeah,
before. So
true.
he hasn't played like since the United game where
I
he
think he
came
was
off.
like fully fit to come back and start, and then he's had that setback. So I reckon, like, I guess in terms of like cardiovascular fitness wise, I guess he's fit enough.
But it's just about
Would be
sharpness,
interesting.
isn't it? He hasn't played
Yeah,
football in months. I would not be throwing in a player that hasn't played football in 2 months against the team that's currently top of the league
it's
and
Chelsea
haven't
though, isn't
lost.
it?
Yeah, but like, they're fine. Chelsea have been good without
Oh
him.
yeah, I
They don't
agree.
need him.
They shouldn't do it. I just
I
have a
don't think they
feeling they
will.
probably
I
will.
think Maresca. I think if it had another
Reckon.
manager, I think if it was Slot would. I just don't. I don't think Maresca's
Mm.
like that. He might do. I might be wrong. Um, they might just play Neto up front. They did that against Barca
Yeah,
because
yeah.
he runs in behind and he's quick. I don't know if that's the best logic against us, though. I don't know.
Let's go Marino. Uh,
My God, this guy's the weirdest footballer of all time.
I want to say he's majorly improved, and I want to say it's because suddenly he's got output. Like even like his record for Spain is suddenly outrageous. I wonder if we would be going, and harshly, we would be going like regressed if he never had that stint up front, because it was looking a bit ropey at times, I guess. He's a real strange player. Like, did you see my tweet when I said, "Oh, he's just missed 2 headers"? There's going to be a, like a wonder goal from him in a minute. There's bound to be. He just pulls something out of the bag sometimes, but I think he's really improved. Not in terms of on the ball and stuff so much, but just in terms of like his understanding of the system. And I think we've now understand. Get him in the final third. Just get him in there. Doesn't matter if he's playing as a forward or whatever. He has to be up that side, rather than near our goal. I think he's really improved.
It's just tough because I mean, the basis of what we're doing this on is kind of like I don't know, fringe. It's a bit of a mess because he only joined the club last summer, so it's like, well, I watch games of him at Real Sociedad, but I still don't know fully all the details. And
Well, I'm
played
telling you, he goes to.
he played such a different role as well. Like I do agree with you to the extent of I just don't think he would have been I don't even know if he would have been a worthwhile signing if he didn't have that stint up front, and now he's like a striker player. And it's not just because he's a player. Like the Marino up front is so different to the Marino midfield, but the Marino midfield just wasn't really working. And I do think up front,
I would hate Rice to go down and us to play him in that left eight, which originally I thought that was the plan.
Like well, I thought that. Yeah, I thought our perfect midfield would be when we bought Marino. Is Marino's 8, left 8, Odegaard right 8, and Rice DM. I thought that was the plan, and I think maybe it was the plan, but things didn't work out. Marino, dislocated his shoulder from Gabriel in the first training session and was out for 8 weeks, so that didn't help the start. But
never been injured either, and then that happens.
I mean, that's just how physical we are. We beat each other up, but I think his application of himself is a big thing. I think we're talking about on the pitch things. Off the pitch, there's a lot of factors of why Marino's been a big beneficial. He is a leader. He is a real I see it in the games that I watch him now, where people look to him for answers. Sometimes he is one of the biggest vocal points and leaders in that team. He understands the press. His pressing since he's come into the team the last few games has been excellent. We have scored goals because he has pressed particularly incredibly well. Just him, by himself. He's that good. He runs all game. We were talking about before Gyökeres got injured of oh, what's going to happen now? We've got Marino. It's going to be the same as last year. But Marino up front is a good player. I think I need to give him some credit because I always kind of, he's not done that. His overall play isn't brilliant, but his overall play has been much better. We scored, how many goals we scored? 9 goals in the 3 games he's been up front. It's incredible.
So what you're saying is that Marino is probably...
Do you know what is crazy? I saw a video by someone, and he said that he went out of all of Arsenal strikers, including Jesus, Marino, Gyökeres, and Havertz. He went Havertz is the worst. Right, okay. Let's diminish that
I just,
stupid
I,
thing straight away. Look, right,
oh,
if you look at the stats, Havertz has the same goals to game ratio as Gyökeres. Gyökeres has played 10 games and scored against awful teams. Havertz has played 59 up front, so the sample size is way different. Havertz's creative work is actually way better, despite he has less touches in the box, he has less shots, and it's all better. He has less shots than Marino, and he scored the same amount, if not even more goals than him. He's a better creator than Marino. He's better, worse in the air. He is a worse player in the air than Marino. That's fair.
well, I mean, that's not hard though. Marino
And
is
Marino's
pretty
not like
good,
he
yeah.
scores headers all the time. Like we
Mm.
talked about, he missed two, he should have scored. Like I
Yeah.
think the disrespect. Havertz was carrying us for like 7 months, and no one cared. And then now everyone's like, "Oh no, let's laugh on him."
Where should we put Havertz? Because I mean, he's missed massive chunks. Wow, it's really harsh to even.
He's still a small improvement from the start of last season because, like, I
Yeah, I
think
guess
people
so.
forget at the start of last season, from June or July or August or whatever when season started to about January when he got injured. That's 6 months. That's half the season. That's longer than we've had now in this season. And he was
Yep.
incredible. Like he was so good in that 20 games, that 25 games. That's a long time where I'm like, okay, I saw enough progression. There's been games where he's come in, like even in pre-season, in that United game, I thought he was really good in that United game when he came on. That's
Mhm.
the only sample size we've got of this season of him. But
I mean, that pre-season goal, like it was so funny because Gyökeres scored like a Havertz goal, and then Havertz scored like a Gyökeres goal running in beyond, and he did look different. Like I'll be honest,
well,
like
Havertz
they
has
talked
scored
about him
goals
in the
like that.
gym. Was it Gabriel? He was like, "Oh yeah, he's like the strongest person in the
Yeah,
gym
have you
and
seen
stuff."
him?
And then Mikel has said, hasn't he? Like, "Oh yeah, he's getting stronger. He looks like a different animal." And I was like, "Oh yeah, all right, yeah, like whatever, just
Yeah,
usual
typical Jesus
Arsenal."
talk, innit?
Yeah, exactly. And then I saw that goal and I went, "Oh, that is like there's something slightly different." Like he's just got to keep fit now, and annoyingly, really similar to Ben White in terms of just killing himself for the club.
Yeah.
And to be fair, I'm not his biggest fan. Like, and I obviously I joke on here about Mourinho a lot. Like that's not my real like thought process. Like I think Mourinho's done an excellent job when he's being called upon. I think the problem for Havertz is that one, he played for Chelsea. Two, people didn't want him. Like a lot of people are like, no, I just don't want Kai Havertz. And three, he had that stint in midfield. And although at certain points, like I think the Aston Villa game we lost, I think he's actually quite good. I think it made sense having him box crashing. But those stints in midfield have really kind of just turned people's like opinion on him, and it's like tainted what they see in him, I think. And the other thing is he's just not as aesthetically pleasing. Like a player say like a Haaland. A Haaland when he's at full pelt running in and beyond and then smashes the ball in the net. Everyone's going, that's what I want. Problem is there's only one Haaland in world football. And like I just think he's a very, very good player, like a really intelligent player as well. But like just for me personally, he's not my bag. But I can appreciate him.
I think people see what they want to see, man. Like
Yeah,
it's like you were saying, like, oh yeah, he was good in midfield, but like we've had so many players that were like, no one gave up on Calafiori when he had a pretty bad year last year. Like no one's given up on. I mean, a lot of people have given up on Odegaard, even though he was like incredible for years. But like, I guess that's just how it is. But like Martinelli was poor for years, and no one really cared or spoke about it for ages because it's Martinelli. He's cute, bless him. And I'm like, it's just like I never get this with players that people have like a
I guess it
subconscious.
might be to do with the wages as well, that he just suddenly
Maybe, but
came in
that's
as
not the
top.
player. Like Jesus
Yeah,
is
no,
a
I completely agree. I
Jesus
just
is a
think,
complete worst waste of wages. Jesus doesn't even play football for the club and has played about 20 games
yeah,
since
can
he
we
joined.
just put Jesus down here?
Yeah, I mean he's just a nothing player. Like he's not like he's an
I
incredible player
forget
when
that
he
he's part of
plays.
the squad a lot of the time.
He might be in the school. Well, he played in the preseason friendly. No, he played in a behind clause friendly. Yeah, like 2 days ago, and he's playing in one
Is
in a
that
couple of.
United? Is that?
No, we played Watford, and we're playing United on the 3rd of
Oh,
December.
yeah. Sorry, yeah.
So he's going to play them, and he'll probably be in the squad in December, I'd imagine. We're going to have on the bench like Jesus, Havertz, Gyökeres, Marino. Oh my God, the options. It's going to be unreal. But I just think like it's so funny to me that people have subconscious bias with players, like how they perceive a player and how much I'd say leeway they're willing to give a player. I do think what you said about him being from Chelsea is a good point, but I'm so done with this whole stupidness. Like, it's so dumb. We said the same about Jorginho, who was excellent for the club. We said the same about Madueke, and now everyone's like, yes to Madueke when everyone criticised it in the summer. And I know there's context around, like, we didn't sign anyone at the time, and people were frustrated. Because I get that, but people need to be more patient. I will not take that as I was in the same
Mikel
situation.
and the whole recruitment team have earned like everyone to go, all right, we'll trust you.
But they're good
Like, our
players
record
as
has been
well. Like, it's
incredibly
not
good.
like we're trusting them to like run the country. Like, this is the thing that always like Havertz is the one out of the three. Maybe
Mate,
Jorginho
I
as
would
well.
trust them to run the country better than the people we currently do, to be fair.
But
Or
like
have done
I
over the
remember
past
like
20 years.
the out of the three Chelsea players we signed, it's very different for me because when we signed Jorginho, I was at uni. So I didn't make content like this. It was my last year at uni. Then we signed him in Jan. I did my dissertation like 2 months after. So I wasn't particularly like, I don't know, like clued up on everything as much as I am now, as into an extent, like as much as I can be. And I knew who Jorginho was. I knew he was a good player. I knew what he did. And I did think it was a weird signing, but I didn't care because I was like, well, he's 10 mil. And I just was like, it's nothing. Like, it's no money. If he's good, he's good. And he ended up being a good signing. And I knew that Arteta wanted him from his Man City days when they tried to sign him from Napoli. So I knew all that history. The Havertz one was weird. It came out of nowhere. It was literally like we signed Havertz about 3 weeks after I started doing YouTube, like at all. My first content I ever produced on Wackles Football. So it was a weird time for me. One of my first videos that did well was about Havertz. But straight away, like when all the hate that he got to him, I kind of had that sort of like, when people hate things, I always feel like, I don't know, when I don't think it's deserved, I want to like defend them. So I've always had that sort of like affinity of Havertz to being like, well, people criticize him for that. And the problem is Havertz, yeah, he wasn't great at the start, which isn't his fault in an extent. I just don't really think his box crashing role made much sense. And I think that was a sort of a mismanagement of the team. But for a long period of time, we almost won the league in 23-24. And we actually probably should have. We were incredible. We literally lost one game in like 5 months. And it was just, people were going to say, well, we choked against Villa. But like, so many teams played against City, didn't even try. And City did really well. You've got to put your hands up and go, well, we got, I think, 89 points or something and lost to 91, which is an incredibly high points tally to get. And Havertz was unbelievable the second half of that season. He scored, assisted in nearly every game. He was big contributors into big games against like City, Liverpool, like these big games. He was turning up all the time. United, I was like, what more can this guy do? He does everything off the ball. He is, Saka was much better with Havertz. The connection was there. I do think there's problems with Havertz and he shouldn't play every game because, we need that box presence. Sometimes he isn't there. He isn't a natural striker. There is, and he isn't like aesthetically great. He isn't a brilliant finisher, you would say. But there's not a coincidence that he gets in these positions. Like, I think people just think, oh, if you're a good finisher, you'll score goals, but you have to be a good player at getting in these areas. And we've seen it with players like Gyökeres is not getting the same chances that Havertz got consistently. In some games he's had, but he hasn't consistently, and that's because he's not the same player. He doesn't find the same roles. He's not as smart, and Havertz is one of the most intelligent players in there. Our press was the best press it's ever been, with Havertz and Odegaard in the press as the main leaders of it, because they are our best two-way players. And two-way players are players that are basically good at everything, but not maybe excellent at one thing. And that's very much what Odegaard and Havertz are. And they get criticised a lot for it because they, might miss a sitter, might miss a chance, but they still do so much off the ball. I just think like Havertz just gets disrespected so much.
No, I completely agree. I can't wait to see him and Gyökeres both fit. If we can get both fit, it's just going to give us so many options. It'd be so nice. Like, and it's funny because we talk about the depth all the time, and at the moment the depth has been used to plug gaps because players are being injured. So it's a case of like, out of necessity, Jose's had to play as the 10, not because we've wanted to change it for different, different games and different states. And the same with up front. It's like Gyökeres came in. I don't think the plan was to start him from the off. I think Havertz would have kept his place, and Gyökeres would have had to kind of fight for it or play against some smaller clubs and things where he might have a bit more space. And Champions League as well. I think he would have been similar to Martinelli, but it's going to be so nice when we can actually start rotating these players. And I think, like we talked about Ben White earlier and giving him some more minutes, and hopefully over time, it starts to become more of a rotational thing with Timber. I think Timber's nailed on to start most games because he works in most games and most phases anyway. But that forward line, like we have been bare bones. It's been pretty horrendous because we've had Noni came in at the beginning, had to, did really well, and then he's out. We've had Trossard now get injured, which is really annoying. Havertz has been out. Gyökeres has been out. I mean, Jesus, we've never seen him. Like it's such a shame, but like hopefully we'll start to have some of these players around. That'd be quite nice.
And like just small factors of like, we need a goal late on. Now we have the option of Marino or Havertz can come on in certain games and just be like, right, let's cross the ball in. I remember we used to do with Giroud when Lacazette signed for that 6 months before he left. It's like Giroud. I remember the goal he scored against Old Trafford. We were awful in that game, and then Chambers did one cross. He scored off the bench a header, and then we drew 1-1. I was like, we just do that now. Like the options I mean, the funny thing is they're all coming back. Like it looks like I would imagine Gyökeres is probably going to be in the squad against Chelsea. I don't know if they'll risk Havertz because he's been injured a lot longer. So they might not bother. They might go, there's no point. But I mean, they're going to be back in the next few weeks, and then Jesus looks like he's going to be ready as well in the next few weeks. So
it's a completely different player again.
It's just
nuts, isn't it?
I don't know what to
think
about Jesus. Like I don't know what we're going to get with Jesus. That's so weird.
League Cup. Max. I can't put him a new man because he's still a boy.
Yeah, he was like 13 a year and a half ago.
So he's getting majorly improved. Ethan, I'll say small improvement for Ethan. What do I put him saying?
Well, he's improved since the start of last summer because he didn't play a game before.
Yeah,
but
that's true.
Like, I don't think it's been. Yeah, I kind of agree. Like, I don't know what's going on with Ethan right now. Ethan's one of them weird players. Like, I think Miles and Ethan are so weird right now. I've no idea what's going on. Like, I've no idea what they want to do with Miles because, like, him playing as a natural left back makes no sense. So, are we going to keep with that? Are you going to buy that Mendoza and then play him in central midfield and as a backup? And then is he get? So I don't get it. Is he going to be a DM backup? Maybe. And like with Ethan, it's like I don't really know what Ethan's doing. Like Odegaard wasn't in the squad and he basically got no minutes because I don't think Arteta trusted him, which is fair. I think Ethan's been a bit on and off a bit this season. I think in some games he's been really good, but like. Yeah, they're trying to turn him into that all-phase midfielder, which we've spoken about, and it just doesn't seem to be clicking fully yet.
I wonder if the Eze signing will be a benefit for Ethan, and I wonder if that will kind of give Arteta this idea of actually he doesn't have to be an all-phase midfielder. He can be a bit more like Eze and have less touches, but still have an impact. Because I see that kind of side of him a bit more. Like he's not. I'm not saying he's the same as Eze. They're very different players, but he has got like that eye for goal outside the box. He's got that, he does the short touches, and then I don't know. I think maybe that will like redirect what we do with him. But he's so talented. I've got no doubt that over time we'll work out what we're going to do with him. Because it's like Max. Right now, what do you do with Max? Because all these other players coming back, and it's mental because he's 15, and you're going, you can't really leave out the squad though, like especially as we've just got here from 610.
Yeah, unreal.
Like that goal is just obscene.
Why is he playing at that level at this point? Like it's like
it's nuts, isn't it? Like it is nuts. But I think for Miles, Ethan, Max, like it's a case of long game. Like, I just think over the next 2 or 3 years. And that's the thing, when we talked about transfers earlier, we've got an embarrassment of riches in terms of young players coming through as well. There are some of the like, 'cause look at the average age of this squad. It's not old. So when they all do start to get a bit older, hopefully those others will be kind of getting towards their primes anyway. So it's an odd one.
And they will play like every game this season. We've had a new player step up. Like
Yeah.
it's so funny. Like every different game. So there will be moments. I mean, especially when we get to the. I mean, we've won 5 out of 5 Champions League games after we play Inter. Like the games aren't even really going to matter. So like then you can maybe experiment a little bit and bring in an
Mm,
Ethan, bring in these sort of players. I'm
yeah.
sure they'll get a time where they'll play, and sign a Mendoza, play him.
That I do like the idea of that signing. Bukayo Saka. Ooh.
Saka's a weird player, man. Like I,
Ooh.
this season, he's been really hot and cold for me. He's even
Mm,
like the best player on the pitch, or he's just like there. Like
like
I, I, I,
coasting.
I do think in some games, like in Bayern's game, like they had 3 men on him, and it was just like it's one of them games where like we talk about how like oh he's really good, but when there's 3 people on you and they're super aggressive, he's just not gonna get joy sometimes, and that was the whole problem. That used to shut us off completely, but now we've
Yep.
got all these other avenues of like scoring. It's not really that big of a deal, but I think I think in terms of a creator, since the start of last season, he has become so much better. So I'd say in terms of goal scoring and his overall play in front of goal, I'd say it's probably about the same or maybe regressed a little bit. But his creative work is a lot better. Like I would put him in like at least small improvement just for his creative work because
I think if
he
you
has
asked
stepped up.
one of the other members of the squad, they'd be like, "Oh, he's got better again." Like you have no idea. He's got so good. I bet that's what they would say. Like it's
Yeah,
always all the little details, but yeah, I mean, this is an interesting take. Yeah, is he pacing himself before he explodes in the running? Like
yeah,
he has been in and out of the team as well.
yeah.
He's
That's true.
constantly, I don't
He's
know.
had
I
injury
think.
problems. Yeah,
And then
yeah.
he's
I'd
had
say
to
he's
deal with
definitely
Eze come in, and he
he's
seems
definitely
to
had
be
small
trusting
improvement.
Eze more as well now. Being
Yeah,
like,
that's
oh,
his
actually, I
boy.
can.
That's his boy.
Yeah,
He gets it. It's the same with Noni. You can tell they have that connection, all 3 of them, because
yeah.
every single time, like I watch every single Arsenal player's celebration from every goal we score because I want to see what they're like perceiving and like say. By the way, Calafiori's celebration when we scored against Tottenham, the 4th goal, he's like in front of Arteta. He like goes to his knees. It's so funny. But like Eze always keeps very nonchalant when we score. He's like, fist bump. But then when Noni scored, I know it was a big moment, late goal against Bayern, but he was gassed when Noni scored. Like he was really gassed. And I was like, you
That's
can
so
tell
nice,
them
isn't it?
3 have that connection. Obviously known each other for such a long time. But yeah, I agree with you. Like Saka, when he scored the hat trick as against Tottenham, I don't know, he kind of like it just kind of felt like he was like wanting him to shoot. Like he kind of moved out the way, Saka,
Yeah,
to give that space for Eze to shoot, not to get the pass. And I was like, yeah, that don't think Saka would do that with many other players.
yeah, it's true. I reckon we put him small improvements simply because I think his overall game has improved. We're
Yeah.
just not seeing it output wise. But that's
The
a good player.
creative work is unbelievable. Like
Mm,
this is the thing with the output. Like he's got in like his best 3 games for Arsenal, he's genuinely not got a goal and assist in any of them, and it's so
yeah.
funny. He just plays so well, and nothing happens like that way. It's like it is what it is. But
Leandro Trossard.
oh my god, my guy,
Well, he's got to go up here for me.
he's definitely majorly improved. I think like
He,
he's
I wonder
insane.
if we say new man because he's doing it from the start now. And his overall game, like, it's not like, like he was an impact player. So everyone looked at the efficiency and went, oh, he always comes up with an assist or a goal. I think, like, overall play now, like, off the ball, unbelievable. Like, he's changed that left-hand side. I think Calafiori, a lot of the reason Calafiori is getting so much joy is because of the Trossard's work. He's never bloody injured, apart from this week. I think he's like up there right now. Like if you're saying like from the start of the
Well, that's the problem. Like I wouldn't put him that far up because it's such a small sample size. Like let's not forget
so he's
10. Let's not forget 10 games ago, people still wanted him gone. Like
yeah, that's true.
from 20, but as well, we're talking from the start of last season,
Yeah.
23-24, he scored 17 goals and was insane in that season. And then last year, he dropped off a lot. He was quite poor for a lot of last season. Up until about Jan, I think Jan to like March, he was actually pretty good when we had injuries. But this season he has been unbelievable. Like this is the best I've ever seen him play consistently. I said it before the Tottenham game, and in the Tottenham game, I thought he was. I mean, I had some people telling me that they thought he was their man of the match, and I was like, he's definitely up there. He was incredible in that game against Tottenham. Everywhere. The goal that we score, the first goal, like brilliant. Yet again turning up, gets an assist as well later on. Unfortunately, he got injured against Bayern, but maybe we need some time out of the team. He's started like the last 10 out of 12 games we've played in all comps.
Yep.
He started a lot of games, and I know we like stability, but I also want to see other players play, and we have players there. I think Eze is the best. I keep going on about how our left wing has become some sort of a creator. Like Trossard isn't being used as a guy that runs in behind anymore, like we used to have, and like a guy he does sometimes, but he's more used as a guy that is supposed to create while Saka gets in the box now, rather than it being the other way around, what we used to always have. Like Saka, you do all the creative work, and Mate will just sit in the box and wait for the ball on the left. But now we've changed that dynamic a little bit, so I think Eze is the best player to do that. I don't know if you want to just switch that dynamic and put a Martinelli in or a Madueke who's a bit more of a runner. I don't think that's really where I would go with that. Depends how you want to play. But yeah, I think Trossard's been fantastic, and he's been one of our best players this season. He's our top goals and assist guy, even though Eze is like one behind him suddenly because he's just getting loads now. But yeah, he got assist against Bayern. Like, it's how it happens.
Nuts, isn't it? And final one, Gabriel Martinelli. Interesting one, because this season he's been on fire. But again, it's short periods. Like this role has suited him so much more. Like, just come into central areas as well. Eze has been a perfect foil for him as well. It's so interesting, isn't it? How when we think about transfers a lot of the time about what that player is going to actually do, not how that player is going to facilitate other players. And that, I think Eze, I never thought, Eze, that's going to be perfect for Martinelli. But it seems like he's just on the same wavelength. Like, oh yeah, put the ball over the top. He just understands. And yeah, Champions League, incredible, absolute demon in the Champions League. It just seems like things have clicked a little bit at the moment. And I said it before on here that he could have easily shirked his responsibilities, gone, I'm on my way out. I'll just get by the next 12 months and leave. I think he's been very good. But then if we're thinking about the beginning of last season, I mean, he had moments. He had the goal against Real Madrid as well, didn't he?
It's purely just about dynamics. Like, he's a better player on the counter in space. Like he just is. And this season's the first time Arsenal since 22-23 have actually been quick in their attacks at some point and been direct. And
transition, who'd have thought?
And like, we're scoring transitions like it's easy now. One against Tottenham, we scored one against Bayern. Like, it's becoming that point now where he is a player. Like, this is why against Chelsea, Martinelli's not a bad pick to start, or Madueke, because like Chelsea are a team that will try and press us, will be committed, will try and go man to man at times, and will actually like have that space in behind. You're just not going to get that against like a Burnley or we weren't getting it before, but now we are because we're playing such different ways. But even that Sunderland game that we played, or even the Tottenham game, that they're not games for Martinelli. There is a time and place to use him, not all the time just shoving him in there. But yeah, he's been good this season when we've used him because we've used him correctly. Finally.
Yep, 100%. Mate, before we finish up, because it is 2 hours and 15 minutes. Jeez, these pods. I even said before I started, I said I've got to be 1 hour. Oops. Quick starting lineup. Let's quickly do a starting lineup if we can. Never gonna happen. David Ryan goal.
Yep.
Left back Calafiori.
Yep.
Centre backs. I'm going back to yeah, I think I'm going back to Hincapié and Saliba.
Yeah, Chelsea are actually quite good at crosses and corners. They're very good at corners. So
yeah,
even
that's
though
what
they
I
did
was
stat
thinking.
pad against West Ham, so I mean I don't know how good they actually are, but they're actually they're not really like a physical team like that, but they are a decent set piece team. So yeah, I would probably just put Hincapié in for that.
And I think Estavio is going to be out on the right, and I think I like the idea of Hincapié left-footed out there.
Yeah,
that as well.
That's actually a good point. Yeah.
Timber out on the right. I think that's no-brainer.
Yep. Saliba.
And then, are we saying don't know. Oh,
No, I know what I'm
Troy,
saying. I
just
don't know
bring
what you're
Odegaard
saying.
in. It's Zubimendi and Declan Rice. Like, that's obvious.
Yeah,
Just
here
don't
he
know
is.
if
El
we can bring
Capitano.
Odegaard straight back in.
Yeah, we can. We're doing it. We can bring him in.
Yeah, go on.
We
Yeah,
did the
we've got to
exact.
bring him in. He's
We did
captain.
no, but we did the exact same last year. When we played Chelsea away, he came back and he hadn't played for like 3 months or 2 months. Played straight away. At least he's actually played some minutes. He actually played against Bayern. He
Yeah,
almost
yeah.
made the game against Tottenham. I think. Do I think Arteta will do it? I think he. I feel like he might play Martinelli or Madueke on the left and just play Eze. I just think.
Yep.
I think he wouldn't if we were playing Brentford at home like we are in Wednesday. But I think he will do that because it's Chelsea. I think he'll play Madueke at left wing, but I wouldn't. Oh, he could do what he wants. But
Be interesting to see. I can't wait. Chelsea have won 1 of their last 11 Premier League games against Arsenal, drawn 3 and lost 7. Now winless in 7. There's a 2-0 win at the Emirates in August 2021. Opt to give it. What are they giving it? A 41.9% for us, 32.6% for them.
I hate Opta's supercomputer. I think it's stupid.
Yeah, so do I. But I do every one of my previews because I think sometimes people like a little visual thing of it.
I guess it's all right. I guess if you're betting, that would be a good idea. But I don't.
Prediction? Did we both go for it? I think I went 1-0 and you went, what did you go with against Tottenham?
Yeah, I said 2-0, I think. But I literally made a video on that day saying why Arsenal will thrash Tottenham. And then when we thrashed them, I wasn't surprised. I was like, oh, okay.
I know.
Like,
I went after. I was like, maybe I'm just thinking. I think sometimes I give them too much credit.
Yeah.
And
Or not,
and
or
honestly, I was
us
like,
not enough credit. Like I forget
Yeah.
sometimes we are genuinely insane.
because that was a battering as well, wasn't it? It was just like they had nothing for us.
I did think they were going to sit in a block, and everyone's like, no, they will press. Yeah,
No,
they didn't even
just
try.
made me laugh as well because I said, do you remember I said about the midfield? I went, they're going to have the most boring midfield ever. And then they went even worse and just played 5 at the back.
Well,
okay.
you said Johnson should play for the counter, and I was like, I would like to see Odegaard. And then they played Odegaard and Kudus. Oh, yeah, great. We're going to launch the ball up to 2 dribblers. I was like, what is going on? I was so dumb. And then, have you seen the clip?
And I
of,
like Thomas Frank as well.
It's one of them things. He had his Brentford cap on. He did not think like, this is Tottenham. I've actually got to go and try and play. I'm playing this like, oh, I'm Brentford. There's a clip where like, Udogie is like gonna press us. He's like on the halfway line, and then we receive the ball in Timber, and he goes, "Nope!" It just runs away, and it's so funny because it's like that. It was like, "Oh, Frank says we're gonna press," and then 10 minutes into the game, Udogie running off. I was like, I think this game's gonna be. I actually think this could be our toughest game at the 3 that we've played this week. But Bayern was tough. Like Bayern, they were really good. I don't know. I just think Chelsea are like. Chelsea are weird, man. They played well at home. They played well against Liverpool to an extent, and then they really play well against Barca. Even though I think they're a good counter, I think that we'll win 1-0. Just easy, isn't it? We so play 1-0 quarter goal.
I want us to get a 3-0 win. I reckon. What was the last one? It was 1-1 draw, wasn't it?
Pedro Neto scored. I think that they might score. I had this thing that I think Chelsea
3-1.
Chelsea are like the best attacking team in the league, joint with us. I think they're actually. I think we'll score. Like I can't see us not scoring, but I can see them scoring. So maybe like a 2-1.
I think a lot of their attack relies on pace, though, in terms of like Neto.
Yeah.
Stuff. And I just think we can shut them down.
It's Cucurella's the problem, man. Every single time. I mean, Caicedo is as well. Like Caicedo is unbelievable, but Cucurella is literally like every time he plays well.
I do think the idea that 610 had earlier about. I had been thinking about it. About do we put Madueke out on the right, which is insane to say because I absolutely love Bukayo, but that matchup, like there's just certain like profiles that do well against each other. It's like, Ashley Cole and Ronaldo. Like, I never saw Ashley Cole have a bad game against him. It didn't matter how good Ronaldo was. He was always there. Don't get me wrong. I know.
I was going to say, it's like with Cucurella as well. Like, Cucurella kind of was amazing against Yamal as well. Like, he is just a good defender. Like
he's incredible.
The thing is, he shouldn't work. He is super aggressive. I think they just play Saka anyway because of the aggressiveness, and you want to draw Cucurella out.
Yeah, I think it will
win free kicks. I don't know. It's like Cucurella might have a good game against Saka, but now surely we have enough quality around the pitch to be okay. So it is what it is.
Quick question before we finish up: would you swap Cucurella for Calafiori?
I think in terms of roles and stuff, like Cucurella plays like a bit of a watered down version of what Calafiori does. And he does like dictate a lot. I don't know. I just like, I think in so much of football, it's based on roles. And I just think Calafiori fits our roles and our physicality a bit more.
I agree. I just thought, like,
that's
you
just
know,
how
like there's
football
certain
is,
players
though,
we talked
innit?
about, if the player's good enough, then you just get him in anyway. We talked about the wingers last week. didn't we?
Well, yeah, I don't like. Yeah, I mean, I don't. Fullbacks are fullbacks. I always say this. I'm like, Nuno Mendes is like an incredible fullback, but I'm not like jealous. I don't care. Like, it's a left back. Like,
yeah, mate. Thank you so much as always. Don't do this to me. Come on, Vegas.
We draw that, and then we win every other game and win the league anyway. Oh yeah, Newcastle did lose. Newcastle did beat Man City, by the way, like I said. So it's a big shock.
Mate, we've had some good calls this season. Maybe at New Year's, like the Christmas.
I think I watched too much football. I think it's a problem.
Yeah, it's true.
I think I should start betting.
Maybe we should
everything.
start betting on stuff.
Yeah, it's like I know everything.
Yeah, maybe. Where can everyone find you, Reece?
Wackles football. Posted every day this week. Every day. That won't be happening for the foreseeable future, but it's just too much stuff going on. That's a problem.
Meanwhile, I've been editing for the Canon podcast, so I've been up at like 1 o'clock in the morning finishing rewatches and stuff. I'm shattered. Absolutely shattered. And what have I done on my own page? Nothing. Do you know what? I really considered. I say considered. I nearly accidentally, you know, when I sent you the link for tonight, I almost did it on the Canon podcast by accident, which would have been hilarious if we just randomly went live on the wrong channel. But yeah, I need to do more, and I will be putting out more content. There will be a preview for the Chelsea game. Might try and do a little instant reaction as well, depending if my children give me the chance.
Is it 4:30 on Sunday again?
I think so.
Oh yeah, it is. It always is. It always is. Okay, that makes sense.
Yeah. Oh, it's going to be a big one. Right, mate. I will see you next week, 8:30 again. Thanks for tuning in, guys. Make sure you hit the like and subscribe, and we will catch you then. Anything to add, mate?
Nope.
Cheers, guys.